What up? What up? A2HH is in the building. Coop, how are you doing on this Wednesday?
I'm here.
Yes,
Let's get the
yes.
job. Let's get the job done.
We are here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just I'm in such a productive and proactive mode right now. It's just like I'm out to get the job done
I love
about
it.
all things. Them YouTube notifications been coming a little faster this year too. Yeah, they have.
Yeah. It really helps that we kind of set the show ahead of time too. It kind of forces the algorithm to get it in people's faces. But we got a
Indeed.
lot to talk about today. There were some things that we left out of Friday's show because we got into such a conversation, which was a great conversation. It's about that Billboard placement. We went all the way to talking about Jada Kiss should have stayed with Bad Boy and had Puffy do his solo album. I like that conversation though, 'cause there were some interesting things that came out of it.
I didn't even know how we got there, but when you think about it, well, damn.
Right. Hold on. Let me set my joint up. People just be calling me knowing I'm doing the show.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That
Anyway,
is correct.
so yes. What I was gonna say though is,
Hey, don't you love the text like, hey, what you doing? It's like, yo, like, where have you been like the last 2-3 years? Like, I thought you were a friend of mine. Like, you know what I'm doing right now? Trying
they,
take over
they said that the
the world.
YouTube notification came instantly today. So
It
that's
did.
what's
That's what
up.
I'm saying. It was popping today.
Well, shout out to YouTube. Appreciate that. Get people in our circulation. Thumbs up in the chat so we can get more and more people in this conversation. I think we got Billboard. I don't want to say shook, but that's the only other term I can look for because they haven't even put out the other 10 from their list. And that 10 that they put out, 50 through 41, that was like, what was that, 7 days ago?
Now that's very problematic that that's going on. It's
So
taking a
I don't
little
know if
long.
they're
I don't
scrambling.
want to say that it's us though.
It's the people. You know what I'm saying? Like Redman at 42. I mean, what's the next list gonna look like? Like, what's the next? What is it gonna be? 40 through 31. Who's
Hmm.
gonna be in 40 through 31? Like, you got any predictions there?
Um,
I think they're gonna put Too Short in that range.
it's Cool G Rap and KRS-One.
If
Ring
they
a bell?
put,
One of those two guys is gonna end up there.
dag, my camera froze. Keep it going. Keep it going.
No. I know your camera is
Yeah,
froze.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
just keeping it cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna be all right.
They can't put
I
Cool
really
G
don't know
Rap.
what to expect, Mike, because I believe how we coin or ebonically phrase the word fuckery appropriately is because when the fuckery is taking place, it's like, well, you really don't know what you're gonna get. It's a mixed bag of things. It's a myriad of things when you're dealing with fuckery, and so it's like we could see some Cool G Rap and KRS-One between that range. I mean, or we could see somebody like who we wouldn't even like you can see somebody like a Mystical pop up in that range for them. You feel what I'm
Mm,
saying?
I think for legal purposes, Mystical is going to remain off the list. But since you mentioned Mystical, I'm thinking Master P could end up in that 40 to 31 range. That could happen.
No, I could totally see that.
We might
That's
see a
what you mean.
juvenile or something like that. My
Right.
camera keeps acting up, man. Jesus, what is going on?
Don't be discouraged.
They're
You got a
trying to
great show
stop.
today.
They're trying to stop the movement. But
So they
yes,
hit us with the notification fast.
got the notification fast, and now I'm dealing with the camera issues. But yes, um, I'm thinking that from 40 to 31, we're probably gonna get definitely Too Short since we had E40 at like number 41 or something like that.
So you thinking Short Dog is coming shortly thereafter, is what you're saying?
I think so. I think we're gonna get some female MCs in there as well, but the fact
Well, we
that
already
they
got female MCs in there. I mean, because
Foxy might get in that section too. I mean, the fact that we got MC Light and Queen Latifah, and I'm frozen again, in
do
the
you think Foxy's
40s.
making this list with Light and Latifah being where they are?
Sure.
Are
But
you
again,
certain of that?
I'm not certain because they've
I
been
would not be
trying to
certain of that.
erase Foxy.
You know, Foxy's been very problematic at times.
Yeah, they've been trying to erase Foxy. I definitely could see them putting Nicki in the teens.
Oh yeah, I can see Nicki at
Or
17 or 19.
aren't they the people that put or was that Rolling Stone that put Cardi B's album as a top 15 hip hop album all time?
Is that them?
And
It
I
might
think
be.
that might have been Rolling Stone.
Once again,
Everybody losing credibility.
with the fuckery, right, Mike? What did I say about the fuckery and how we
Whoa,
ironically?
hold on. Dame says that the 40 through 31 is already out. Can somebody send the link? Because, I mean, this is live television. We need to talk about this. And I want to see this. Somebody send the link because I looked for it before the show and I didn't see it.
It's about to be a hell of a show.
Right. I'm about to look for it right now.
I said.
See, I said. Jealousy, I said.
Yo,
I saw
got the whole industry mad at me, I said.
Yo, Just Blaze says he has some unreleased Jay-Z tracks or unreleased Jay-Z songs.
And Ghostface.
And Madlib. I saw one of the songs that said Madlib and Jay-Z or whatever. I saw a Ninth Wonder beat CD, and they got me frozen at these crazy poses. But what do you think about these unreleased Jay-Z songs? You think we'll ever hear them? These crazy poses, but you think we'll ever hear them?
I mean, what would be the point in speaking of them if we're not gonna, like if you're gonna give us some smoke, I know you're gonna give us some fire, right? Ain't that what you give smoke for? Make fire? I mean,
you know my theory. You know my theory when it comes to Jay-Z. I feel like anything that comes out like this, they want to come out, or he wants to come out, excuse me. And Leroy Green could probably speak to this.
There can be a they in that and it not just be a he.
Well, yes. That camp co-signs the notion of telling people that there are unreleased Jay-Z songs. That's not just something, and I could be wrong, it's just my theory. I have no proof of this. I don't think that's something that Just Blaze finds in a vault and says, oh, man, let me put this on my phone for everybody to see. You got to ask for permission out here for stuff like that.
Well, see, my question is that, well, there's a certain guy that's preparing for a performance at Madison Square Garden in about 5 weeks, maybe 6, something like that.
It has been revealed. It was revealed 5 hours ago. Not to interrupt you, but yeah, it's a big show that's coming up. We're going to be talking about that too. Let me go down the line real quick. See if any of our predictions were right.
Have fun.
Let's see here. If you don't know and you're just tuning in, we're going through Billboard's top, 40 through 31. I found it right here, and thanks for the heads up, Dame, in the chat. So, Dr. Dre's number 40. Woo! Dr. Dre over Redman. Let's get it. Okay. Dr. Dre's 40. I want to see how they said this. They said Dr. Dre would be the first to tell you that he's not a traditional MC. They covered that part. During his 30-plus career, the global best-selling producer often cited hip-hop's GOAT behind the boards, boasts a treasury trove of lyricists who have written for him. From Ice Cube to DLC to Snoop Dogg to Eminem, Jay-Z, and Kendrick Lamar. However, Andre Young's legacy has as a lead rapper on 3 separate era-defining albums, 1988 Straight Outta Compton, his solo headlining debut album The Chronic, and 2001 Can't Be Denied. On The Chronic, his 1992 triple platinum certified gangster rap opus, Dr. Dre has exhibited an effortless delivery on the mic with a commanding voice that's one of the genre's most recognizable, and hearing him master the double time flow on the 1999's Slim Shady featured Forgot About Dre from the 6-time platinum certified masterpiece 2001 is still a shock to the system. Now that's unfair. That's unfair to rate him as one of the 50 greatest rappers based on his performance of never writing down his own rhymes. Now, you guys, man, y'all were really, really strict on the fact that you don't think anybody could be considered if they've ever had a ghostwriter. This is a situation where there's only ghostwriters. Now, we don't know what Dr. Dre's pen looks like. His pen is invisible. What say you, Coop?
You see, this is what fuckery looks like.
We're going to take this slow. We didn't even know we were going to have this added to the show. This is great.
This is what fuckery looks like.
This is what live broadcasting is like.
No, this is what it looks like. I'm serious, where it's like, like none of us even, I mean, I don't have him ahead of MC Light or Queen Latifah either. Like, in all honesty,
Jada Kiss.
Or Jada
Kiss, man.
Definitely not Redman.
Listen, man.
Whoever, I wonder if, like...
And I know a lot of people probably out there like, why do you guys pay attention to these lists and this and that? We want you guys to see how publications lose their credibility in certain arenas in real time. Is there anything wrong with that? Jay Short with the super chat says, Jay's lost tapes would make a lot of sense. New music without having to make new music. No pressure. If it's not good, we'll just discard it. Yeah, it'll just be discarded. Exactly. That is definitely a win-win situation, as Jigga would say.
It's very well played.
DFW Herbie with the super chat says, since we giving my guys Skyzoo love, we also got to shout out to cats like Homeboy Sandman and Rock Marciano too. I love Rock Marciano. And honestly, when it comes to Homeboy Sandman, people talk about skilled rappers and skilled MCs and this and that. Homeboy Sandman is as skilled as it gets, man. I saw him at A3C. It might have been like 10 years ago, man. That dude got on the mic commanding everything and just his wordplay and flow and all that. Sick. And we're going to get to some of them MCs because we asked you guys, you know, who would y'all like to see us interview at A2HH? And those are some of the people that are on the list. You want to know who's 39, Coop?
You know, since we're here and we're live.
Luda.
Okay.
Ludacris. Okay.
I could see that being about.
I think 39 is just fair for Ludacris.
Yeah, I think 39 would be a fair placement. Yes.
I don't really have to read, you know, why that is. I think that's a decent placement. Now, again, we haven't done a deep dive, but you know, it's okay. Gucci Mane at 38.
See, now we have a problem again.
You got a problem again?
Yeah, you think Gucci's ahead of Luda?
Listen, this is what I'll say. I think that when it comes to just bar for bar and you set both of these guys here and you ask one to rap and the other to rap, clearly Ludacris is the better rapper. But if we talk about from a longevity standpoint, we talk about from a impact standpoint, and then just being able to give to the youth in the ways that Gucci has, Gucci's heavily influential. I will say that. I don't have too much of a problem with Gucci being ahead of Luda, but in my personal preference, I would probably listen to Luda's music first. Ooh, 37. You're going to love this. Common.
I'm going to have to be out.
Common is at 37. The disrespect. Now, this is disrespectful, people.
So
this is disrespectful. Okay. I think I should read this.
Don't get pimp slapped.
Lonnie Rashid Lynn was seemingly carrying the hopes and dreams and aspirations of an entire Chicago rhyme community on his back with his 1992 Can I Borrow a Dollar. You know the part that's wild about this? They seem very informed about the MCs when they're actually writing, you know, the passages under there, right? And then it says, Can I Borrow a Dollar? It took a minute, but Common, then Common Sense, finally garnered the national praise after launching one of the most celebrated 3-album runs in rap history. 1994's Resurrection, 1997's One Day It All Makes Sense, and 2000's Like Water for Chocolate. Few lyricists possess the dexterity to pull off a brilliant, um, was it allegory about the history of hip hop on "As I Used to Love Her," while also firing off a savage takedown and some fearsome Ice Cube on the bitchin' you. Like, they are very knowledgeable about his history. And then later becoming a Grammy-nominated hitmaker with The Light. And in 2017, even though they skipped B and all that, I don't know if that's intentional because of the Kanye connection. But in 2017, Common became the first rapper to get the first 3/4 of a way to the EGOT by winning an Emmy, by winning a Grammy, and an Oscar with John Legend and Selma. All that being said, y'all got him at number 37. The fact that he is 31 years into the game, still making music. And I would say Common, by many people's estimation, let's just be real, Common could possibly have 4 classics under his belt. I think it's 2 personally. But there could be an argument made for 4.
I think he's got 2. You don't. So I mean, you're talking about like Water for Chocolate and B, of course.
Mm-hmm. But I think there could be an argument made for Resurrection.
About Resurrection, though?
I think Resurrection could be considered a classic. I think that I Used to Love Her is so overbearing as a, so it has way more impact than everything else on the album. But what Resurrection did for the region and what it did for that city, it could definitely be considered a classic. I think from a conceptual standpoint, you could say the same thing with like Water for Chocolate. I think that the only thing that those 2 efforts are missing is like more of a national impact. But I think a lot of that's just a regional thing because he's not from the East Coast. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I personally believe that like Water for Chocolate and B are both classic albums. I would tell you that Resurrection for me, the way that it's held up, I would be comfortable giving it like classic status.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I would say that he probably has 3 and he has a possible in Finding Forever.
Yeah. And he has a possible. I think he has a possible in One Day It'll All Make Sense.
It'll make sense. So I'd say he has 3 and 2 strong possibles.
Yeah. And I mean, that's 5 there, and that's not counting
5 great albums. Yeah, that's 5 great albums.
That's not counting the quality albums like, Black America Again. That's a quality album. I think that The Dream of the Believer is a quality album. He only has, in my opinion, he has 1 dud. That's that Universal Mind Control. That shit's garbage. Now, I did like Electric Circus, and most people don't like Electric Circus.
No, he's had more than 1 dud. He's made a few duds, but not too many guys are walking around and can say that I've made 5 great rap albums.
You're right.
Like,
there's a small handful.
There aren't 36 guys that can walk around and say that, so he definitely shouldn't be 37.
There aren't 10 guys. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Common at 37, throw the whole list away. Garbage. Jay Short with the super chat says, so we saying that Jada is definitely better than Siegel outside of longevity. They both are about 2 good albums and equal number of standout verses. This is what I'll say, Jay Short. It's all longevity in my personal opinion. I was somebody sent me one of them. Man, it was some DVDs back in the day. You remember when Siegel was rhyming in the jail cell? Mm-hmm. Like, Siegel was special, dog. Like, at that point, if you ask me in 2003 who the better rapper was, I'm saying Beanie Siegel, no question. It's not even I think Jada got him in the long run. But at that point, it's Siegel, no question.
See, this is what I mean in a vacuum, and I'll tell you what. My brother Rico, owner of Black Dad Gang, like, he used to tell me, and Rico can spit too, he used to be like, Siegel's top 5. Like, around that time, like 02, 03, 04, 05, he's like, no, he's like, he top 5. He's like, Nas, Jay, whoever else you want to throw in the mix. He's like, no, he's right there with those guys. He's like, he can out-rap those guys, actually. So it's like, I was like, what about Kiss? He's like, Kiss ain't even He's like, you seen what he did to Kiss. So it's like, you know, in their respective primes, when Siegel's on his shit, Mike, everybody's in trouble.
No, for real. And then you
For real.
mix
He's
in
a
the
top
fact
5 all time. He has top 5 all time MC capability.
he has every skill set you could think of. He's very Biggie-ish in that way. You know what I mean? Like
very Biggie-ish.
And it's like he can tell the stories. He can make you feel. He has the subject matter, and that's why, like at that point, outside of the battle, I would definitely pick Siegel over Jada for the fact that he had so much subject matter. He could give you some, you know, this can't be life type of feels. He could give you that feeling in the air feel. Like Jada hadn't proven at that point that he could do those things.
Like that's what I mean. It's sometimes, see, I guess this is where style points come into play. It is like a how you do it type of thing, like a feel it in the air or a what's your life like. Mm-hmm. It's not that just that he does it, it's that you feel him when he does it. That's very Scarface.
You feel it on a Scarface level, yes.
But then you look at his lyrical capabilities, and that's where it gets frightening because he can make you feel like on a Tupac and Scarface level, a DMX level, but he can spit like lyrically with a Black Thought, with a J, with a Nas. And so it's like, no, that guy is frightening. He is frightening.
I want to bring Puffy into the discussion again.
How did Puffy end up in
I want to bring him into the discussion
again. How did that happen?
Follow me real quick. I want to bring him into the discussion again. I feel like if Beanie Siegel were like the flagship artist and not, you know, second to the flagship artist that was actually in his prime and getting the main focus when it came down to production, I think Beanie Siegel could have actually made a One More Chance. I think Beanie Siegel could have actually made Big Pop. Like, close your eyes and hear Beanie Siegel rhyming over those records. I could hear it. I could hear Biggie making not Biggie. I could hear Siegel making One More Chance. And even when Siegel got that opportunity to make that In the Club record with Timbaland, he knocked it out the park. We never saw anything like that again.
No, see, this is what I'll give you. The In the Club thing is a home run, first of all. So you're absolutely correct about that. In the Club is a banger.
Jada tried to work with Timbaland in that era. It didn't work out like that.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. In order for that to happen, it's not, I don't even know if that's a Puff thing. This is what, I hate to say it, this is why great rappers specifically shouldn't sign to other rappers' labels, especially if the rapper's great as well. Like,
and it only worked for Kanye because he made his own beats.
He's different. Yep. I told you he's different. He does not fall into that category. He's not a Beans. He's not a guy that you're literally pulling out the slums. And it's like, where'd this guy come from? Like, you know, it's different. You know, the reason that I like even started checking Siegel wasn't even like Siegel. I was listening to him. It was the way Jay was talking about Siegel.
He was.
Jay was talking about Siegel, the way he talks about Nas, the way he talks about Big, the way he talks about Rakim. I was like, hold on. I was like, is he this nice? I was like, let me listen to this dude. I'm like, oh, this dude is this nice. You know,
he was talking about him to a level where I felt like it was disrespectful to Memphis Bleak at the time. He was like, he's Pippin and this and that, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, but that was easy. Like as far as I don't know how the personal relationship went, but as far as like on some rap shit, he was like absolutely right. Like
no, he was right.
Immediately.
Yeah, Siegel had gifts.
Immediately. He had top 5 gifts. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He didn't just have like top 10, 20 MC type of gifts. He had top 5 all-time MC type of
He had Biggie gifts. I think that's the only person I could really compare Benny Siegel's skill set to. He had the voice. He had the storytelling ability. He had the subject matter. He had the raw skill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it, he kind of was, I don't want to say the next Biggie in that way, but he had a Biggie skill set at a very high level.
No, I think that's a very astute observation by you and an accurate one. Because when you like look at the skill set, it's not just here's where it's Biggie like. It's not just the skill set is there, because a lot of people have a Biggie like skill set. I think Kendrick has a Biggie like skill set, but he doesn't have like Beans hit some shit out the park. Yeah. Like on every level, like the way Big do. And that's the thing with Big. It's like, well, it's not just that Big is like a top 5 talent. Like, how about this? When you're a top 5 talent, you're usually top 5 or 10 in everything.
Well, like you said, I
Like, how many
mean,
people
most of
have
those
that?
guys don't sign to other great MCs in their prime. Like, luckily, J. Cole signed to Jay when Jay was sitting down. You know what I mean? And J. Cole, on top of that, he produces his own stuff, so he might not have fallen in that same category either.
See, this is what I mean. Like Beans in a vacuum, just like in a vacuum, I'll take him over a lot of guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
him in a vacuum would be like an easy top 15 on my list. Like just off what he's done, because I know what he's really like on the mic. Like even the not the joint, the Look at Me Now. I was about to say right before the joint with Jay on the Becoming, the Look at Me Now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I mean. Like no, regular rap dudes don't make records like that.
I mean, even when he went back and forth with Jay on Once Again It's On, like
Yeah. No, but it's not regular.
and I say this like respectfully to Siegel, like they sounded on the same level. You know what I mean? Like you could hear when Jay rhyming with somebody who's not at his level. It sounded like Jay was rhyming with like Sauce Money back in the day, or even Big, like the way they was going back and forth.
No, it was very Biggie like in that regard, because Siegel was letting you know on the verse, Twin Towers here to ruin niggas.
Yeah.
Like he said that, and you know, like
you
like
scared
that was
because
real.
I glue a jigger? Man, like
Yeah.
a compository sketch. DFW Herbie with the super chat says, Common is one of my favorites, but do think that he is sometimes held up to his production. Held up by his production, excuse me. Just asking. Do you think that Common has a production problem?
Sometimes.
I got a lot to say about this.
Sometimes.
And I've said this
yes.
on this show, and I hope that I hope that, you know, people don't take this the wrong way, because I got love for everybody. But I've just never been that big of a fan of No ID's production. It's cool. It's good to rap to, but it's nothing that, you know, knocks the doors down. And I think that production issue DFW Herbie is speaking towards is, once again, No ID production. Because I know you're not talking about like Water for Chocolate. I know you're not talking about B. You're not talking about Finding Forever. You know what I'm saying? And really, if we were to talk about from a production standpoint, in my opinion, Electric Circus is great. The production on Electric Circus is great. He just doesn't sound that great over some of those records. Are we gonna knock Dilla production for Electric Circus?
Okay, so here's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not about to sit up here and knock Dilla. But here's what I am gonna submit to you. He just be having great producers, and I think he be picking the wrong beats from the great producers. And I almost feel like he's one of those guys where it's like, nah, fam, I made this track for you. You rapping to this. And that's what I feel like being
What
Finding
songs
Forever
are we talking about? Because did you not like the beat for Come Close?
I don't love it.
Really?
I like it.
Come Close is beautiful.
I love the record and the message of the record and the simplistic, like, beautiful nature of the record more than I actually love the beat. The beat ain't all that to me. The beat's just solid.
I think the beat's very dreamy. I think that's what they were going for. Like, what common beats would you say that you don't love? Because, I mean, the Sixth Sense is crazy.
No, it's not. This is what I mean. So you have to look. Okay, so take a One Day It'll All Make Sense in 1997. Now, juxtapose that to some of the other production jobs getting done in 1997. You see what I'm saying?
You talk about No ID. This is a No ID conversation.
I don't know if it's totally a No ID conversation.
Didn't he do most of that album?
No, I'm trying to let you know it's a conversation, Mike, because I'm going to be honest with you. Since Finding Forever, the beats ain't really slapped like that from Kong. He's had some moments. He be having some moments, but since Finding Forever, it's been touch and go.
Well,
as far as the beat selection. Been touch and go since Finding Forever.
What did he do after Finding Forever, though, Coop? He went back to No ID. He did. This might be a No ID conversation. Because No ID did the whole Dreamer Believer.
That's very problematic.
I'm just saying. Andrew Green with the super chat. And, you know how we feel about 444. That's mostly because of No ID. We just got to keep it real.
I don't know. There are two people to blame.
Andrew Green with the super chat says, Yo, Coop, is there any plug info you could drop here amongst the community? I detect some sort of new Nas / Hit Boy release around the corner. I don't know if an album or not, though. Blink twice if I'm right.
That's hilarious. Won't be getting any of that out of me.
People want to know, and I saw this in the section where we were asking like for interviews. They want to know if we can get an interview with you in the plug, and you know, I thought that was an interesting ask for people, so figured we would address that on the show too.
I think that she may be working on something, and I might end up on there. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Number 36. You ready for this? Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def.
So we're gonna have to pause.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, what do you think about the production on Resurrection? That's no ID.
I don't love it. It's, Resurrection, I think that the standout moments are the fact that he changed his whole style in the way he was rapping. I Used to Love Her is about him. It's not about the beat.
Oh, that's fair. I was just, I'm asking questions. You don't don't shoot the messenger.
Oh,
please,
no, I'm just saying.
Nobody Smiling. Who did that?
That's where I don't know who did Nobody Smiling.
Okay, whoever did that need to stop that.
I don't know who did Nobody Smiling. I think that's a good question. Hold on. But once again, and I'm not trying to be like this or whatever, but when people move away from Kanye West, bad things happen, man. Production-wise.
Not bad. We'll see what Pusha T's next album sounds like.
Pusha T might be a different situation. He got Pharrell in him. Let me see who produced Nobody Smiling. I'm sure some people in the chat know. No ID executive produced Nobody Smiling.
It might be a no ID problem, Mike. All right.
It might be. Again. Oh.
But don't be telling me. No. Mike, but don't tell me the cats want to rhyme over them beats on Electric Circus. All right? Because they don't.
Aquarius is fire. No ID.
Record, Mike. There's like 2 or 3 records on there like that, Mike.
No ID produced all the songs on Nobody Smiling except for Kingdom, which was produced by James Posey.
I came from Kingdom might have had the best drums on it. I'm out.
It did. I know
Kingdom had the best drums.
I know it's not popular to say, but I think it's. Look, I'm gonna say this. This is obviously has no effect on his all-time whatever. Just my personal preference. I'm not that big on the No ID production. Now I will say. DOA is amazing. So yeah, I'll say that. We
have to do a Common dig and see what Common's best songs are, and to see how many of them are produced by No ID. Because here's what I mean. No, there's stuff I like Invocation. Mm-hmm. Start the One Day It All Makes Sense. You don't like that beat?
Yeah, listen, I love One Day It All Makes Sense, but like you said before we even got to this. When you match it up with the rest of 1997 from a production standpoint, because DFW said it's a production thing, yeah, it doesn't match up to the rest of 1997, though. It doesn't. You know what came out in 97? The Benjamins.
I know. I was just thinking about that beat. No, I was just thinking about that beat.
And I was thinking about Lucchini.
I was thinking about just the beats on No Way Out when I was thinking about it.
Yeah, Lucchini from Camp Lo. Yeah, it don't match up with that stuff. Now, when he got with Dilla and, Soul Aquarians, I think that the production really, really stepped up. Okay. And then when he got to Kanye, he made his best stuff.
Okay, somebody just said Common's last 3-4 albums are good in the chat. Mike, I want to make sure I'm reading that right. Put my glasses on. Might have to ban somebody from the chat.
Okay, all right. What do you think about them putting Mos Def ahead of Common? I think that's direct disrespect, and I say that as a huge Mos Def fan.
We wanted you more than we wanted him, and still we feel that way. So we are going to put him one slot ahead.
You know my theory.
We have no viable evidence.
You know my theory, and I think I've said that. I've said this on the show. Mos Def was the poster child for the backpack rapper in the early 2000s. Mos Def was the real double threat when it came to being an MC and being an actor, and Mos Def was in Brown Sugar. They actually had Mos Def acting alongside of Beyonce and Carmen. All this acting stuff that Common is doing, they wanted this for Mos Def. Mos Def said, I'm out. And they was like, called Common up from the minors. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And like you said, This list right here kind of makes it seem like, yeah, we still like the other guy more. After all the work that Common's done, Mos Def doesn't have the catalog to even be in front of Common on a list like this. But granted, from a straight up raw ability standpoint, I think that, if I heard both of these guys just spitting in the park, I'm picking Mos Def. Not by a whole lot, but, I'm just saying. But as far as catalog goes, he shouldn't be in front of Common.
I mean, no, Mike, the only place that you are picking him, like the only place that you're picking him over Common is like literally, like vocally and like live off the top of the head. And that's saying a lot because Common's pretty stellar.
Mm-hmm.
But most is like that. And here's what I'll say about Common. The most underrated part of Common's game might be his songwriting ability.
Mm-hmm.
Because Common knows how to write all types of songs. I think the only thing that he does not necessarily like over excel at, he's great at it. I don't know if he's all time great at it. Is his storytelling capability. I think is the only like real like B in his lyrical arsenal. Everything else, I think he's an A at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? As far as MCing goes, it's like,
I agree.
Like everything else he does, like his ability to make a hit record is there. His ability to make a street record, his ability to make a battle record. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, like think about this. And when I mean battle record, I don't just mean like the bitch in you. I mean stuff like Hungry on One Day It'll All Make Sense.
Yeah.
Or The Game. Or Shy City on B, where it's like, no, that nigga just rapping. Like, You know what I'm saying? I rap with the passion of Christ, nigga crossed me, took it out of space, and niggas thought they lost me.
I'm back like a chiropractic D-boy survival rap. This ain't 94, Joe. We can't go back.
No, he can rap and put that in a song format, though. Like, Mike, a lot of niggas can rap. A lot of guys can rap like that, but they can't put it in a song that's palatable and digestible over a duration of time. That's why I'm bringing up the different songs from different albums. It's like, oh, no, he can consistently get on the mic and bust your ass. It don't matter if it's Ice Cube in 92. It don't matter if it's 97. It don't matter if it's 02. It don't matter if it's 04. No, he can
even his like conceptual records, like when you're talking about a song for Asada, like Ghetto Heaven and records like that. I mean, one thing I always would give Common respect for is, first of all, he's always stepped in the arena with great MCs. But at the prime of Cannabis, he was the only person to put Cannabis on the record and go back and forth with him. Nobody was doing that. And if you think about it, back then, the only people getting on records, or the only records they were letting Cannabis on, were posse cuts. Like, nobody was trying to go one-on-one with him on a record. It just didn't happen. Now, he did call up Rakim for his album, but nobody was putting Cannabis on a record like that, and Common did it. And Common wasn't, didn't shy away from going bar for bar with the likes of a Cannabis in his prime in 1997. Not to mention jumping on Resurrection in Restoration, my personal favorite Black Star song, and back in Cleanup after Mos and Talib.
Does he have the best verse on that song?
He does have the best verse on Respiration.
Hold on.
In my personal opinion, and even though Mos Def's verse is great, and Talib got off on that record, again, everybody understood where they were at and understood who they were rapping with. Common consistently rhymed with the likes of Black Thought. He gave you 199. There's no reason, and as great of an MC that I think that Mos Def is, whether we talking 36, 37, whatever, there's no list where Mos Def should be in front of Common. That, that's disrespectful to the long, illustrious career of Common and what he's been able to do. He honestly has a top 5, top 10 catalog.
No, he definitely has a top 10 catalog.
Yeah.
Even with all the critiques that you may be exposing about No ID a little bit, like there's still a lot of stellar songs even in those No ID pairings. And that even speaks more to maybe the quality of songwriter MC that he truly is. It's like, and we've said this before, like drop Common off in Brooklyn, he makes everybody's top 10 all time list.
Exactly.
Easy.
Yep. Yeah. All right. You want to see who number 35 is?
Unfortunately, we're already halfway there, so let's just.
Future.
It's an interesting pick.
It is an interesting pick. I think that, and this is why I
I'm cool with Future
consistently,
being over Luda and Gucci though.
this is why I consistently leave Future off lists. He's just so tough to rate when it comes to rapping and MCing. He does
Can I
something so different.
can I tell you something? I had a conversation with some with a couple of twins, black women, our age demographic. Um, and we had a subgenre rap conversation that I think is becoming very real and viable in people's minds, where it's like, where people are like, well, that's not really rap, like traditional rap. And so you want some plug talk? The plug even been telling me for months now, there needs to be a traditional rap category and an alternative rap category. You know what I'm saying? Like, truly. And so what I would tell you is that where I say Future is interesting, because it's like, I know you're doing a rapper list, and because there isn't an alternative list you created, you have to put him somewhere. But I would tell you that they're probably, like, there's enough of it going on now that there is a subgenre of this that is alternative, Mike, and not traditional. And he would be number one on that list.
He would be, definitely. This is what's problematic when it comes to him, right? In my personal opinion, because obviously his impact, his influence. I mean, I personally said he was the most impactful hip hop artist of the past decade. That was 2010s to 2019. But it's like we rate Drake based on his rapping and not his singing, correct? It's hard for me to understand when Future's rapping and when Future's singing. It's like, so him and Thug kind of do that too. It's like they do the whole rap singy thing so well, it feels like they're doing that same blend all the time.
Yeah.
And,
Same thing with Ghana.
and honestly, and I'm just gonna keep it a buck, and I'm a Future fan. The lyrics aren't that clear all the time. And listen,
No.
I'm from Atlanta. I speak, West Side. I can understand a lot of shit that most people wouldn't even understand, but from a lyrical standpoint, it's hard to rate sometimes, because sometimes, even though the rhythm and the melodies and all that are there, they're in pocket and everything, but the words aren't always that clear. And I feel like from an MCing standpoint, clarity is a big part, right?
You have to understand the words that are coming out my mouth. Yes.
I want to see what they got to say about it. Eric Terrell with the super chat, though. He said the problem with Common is that he is cheesy skilled, but cheesy kind of like Lionel Richie, great songwriter, but like them both. I feel what Eric Terrell's saying. I think that the later Common style, and we're not talking about the Corners Common, we're not talking about the 6 Cents or 199 Common, but he can kind of come across as the cheesy rapper, I guess, to a newer generation. I could see them thinking that, because he'll get on stage, do a cat in the hat freestyle and stuff. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you can't be corny as hell all the time.
Yeah. And bars like
It's
off
the
the chain,
consistent
like
corniness. It's the consistent corniness, and it's the lack of like. Here's what you have to realize. I'm not saying that you have to. You kind of do. It's like people want to hear certain things from you.
Mm-hmm. He knows this.
And so you're when he raps, you're what I like to call a rapper's rapper. And so, like, we want to hear rappers songs on your projects because, well, quite frankly, all of your classic projects have them. You know what I mean? Like, you obviously do it well. It's what all your classic projects have.
Common proves my theory.
Referenced it.
Common proves one of my theories, one of my many theories. And this is a big one, and I've said this for 20 plus years. Once you start acting seriously, it's over. And it's like, it's your focus isn't on the music anymore, and it's not that Common's not nice anymore. He has a lot of things going on, and he's not able to just centrally focus on the music like he used to. Like a lot of those records you're talking about, that I'm talking about, he wasn't doing anything but rapping at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, hold on. There are a lot of other artists, we're not going to say their names, who, quite frankly, are getting off in their bag and getting off in their bag as MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like on both sides, like they're doing great MC and they ain't getting to the bag, like doing other things.
Are they acting though? Because that takes a lot of your time.
But I mean, that's the path he chose. You don't get to get absolved from it. Whatever foray outside of rap that you choose to delve into, because rap don't pay what it should, I understand.
I agree.
But when you are an MC of certain stature and certain standard and certain je ne sais quoi, well, we want to hear you make some fire shit. And when you don't, we gonna say it. And these last few albums been corny as hell. And that's just it at the end of the day.
Well, Common's currently doing Broadway right now. Like, and that, and listen, I went to a performing arts high school. A lot of my friends, they, have delved in Broadway, performed in Broadway. It's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And when you get up there with those actors and performers, you're not gonna have the likes of editing and things of that nature to carry you. You really got to put in that work. You really got to know that script, and you got to do it night in, night out. I don't see where music takes any level of place in that. Like, you just don't have that kind of time to really focus on making a great piece of rap work. And I think that with the movies and all of that, he's probably, like you said, the money's one thing, but I'm pretty sure he has a passion for it now. And the passion that he has for that supersedes the passion that he has for MCing currently. And we can hear it. I feel like whenever Common puts out records since he's been acting heavily, it sounds very dialed in. I mean, is that a fair assessment?
I think that's a fair assessment and an accurate one. But those aren't our problems as listeners. It's just we're just here to like, try to enjoy the music. It's just been.
I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just saying that's probably what we're getting. And
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Jay Short
that happens.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, Common hurt himself. I love him as an MC, but these last few albums, his music has been as safe and non-threatening as possible. No risk or edge. And that's a lot of part of, that's a part of being in Hollywood as well. You have a image as a certain individual, and you got to uphold that. We saw that with Will Smith when he made, Big Willie Style and all of that. Like, that was a safe album to make for a Hollywood actor.
I mean, he always kind of made safe material.
He did. He doubled down on with Big Willie Style, though.
You don't like Big Willie Style?
No, I like it. I'm just saying, like, I think that that's how Hollywood can affect, what you do musically, because you got to uphold that image. Like, Common has an image of being, saying it respectfully, the safe guy, right? And I think that when we hear his music now, we're not going to get a Hungry or anything like that.
No, I feel you.
DeCarlo with the super chat, he says, I agree. An alternative rap list having guys like Future and Drake makes me wonder where guys like Lil Jon and Uncle Luke would go. They're alternative too? Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, us Southerners get slight for our draw. Our words and slang, I'm from Louisiana. Our rappers get it all the time. But we got a lot of spitters. That's real. That's real. Currency's one of those people too, even though he doesn't have like a whole draw like that. That's why he ends up getting like a lot of the Alchemist production, where some of his counterparts might not. I think Fiend is one of those too. You were gonna say something, Coop? My bad.
No. You're all good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna read this Future thing real quick. Just see what they say. So they got Future at number 35. Embracing his nickname as the Toxic King. Future and his syrupy flow were driving forces in Atlanta claiming of the hip-hop throne in the 2010s. Pluto's epic mixtape, 3P the Monster, Beast Mode, and 56 Nights, followed by the critically acclaimed DS2 and his What a Time to Be Alive joint project with Drake. They're gonna rank Drake really high.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10, maybe top 5.
Yeah. All within the calendar year of 2015. Could be the best use of 365 days that a rapper has ever seen. And that was only the tip of the iceberg after releasing 2022's I Never Liked You, featuring the current Grammy-nominated #1 single, Wait For You, and Drake with Drake and Tim's. He now boasts 8 #1 albums and 10 top 10 100 hits to his name. Wow. Over a decade into his prolific career, Future Hendrix is more commercially relevant than ever. The ATL trap legend became the only artist to appear on the Hot 100 every week throughout 2020. I mean, that's illustrious. I think that, they made a very viable case for him being 35. All right, 34, Chuck D. I don't even want to read that. 33, Busta Rhymes. Listen, man, this 30s list is pretty heavy.
I want to see who they have ahead of these guys.
Everybody.
I don't know. The only one that kind of like makes me think it's like Chuck, 34?
32, T.I.
Hold on, what's 33?
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes and then T.I.?
Yep.
Okay.
31, Lil' Kim.
I don't like that because that means they have Nicki ahead of her.
They got Nicki ahead of her. They got Kim ahead of Chuck.
Foxy's not making this list official.
No. It's official. Yes, thank you. It's official. Foxy has been erased again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Foxy's not on this list.
Don't tell me that how you act don't matter. Look at what they're doing to Fox.
Why are they doing this to Foxy?
Behavior. They're literally taking out her,
right.
they're taking her behavior back out on her on the back end and not giving her due.
I don't like
everybody.
that.
Yeah, no, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. We're supposed to be judging people on the merits of their work.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's a sexist thing too, because guys act like whatever and it's cool, but if a woman act like this, it's a problem.
I mean, how about this? I mean, Dr. Dre has like multiple domestic violence allegations against him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he doesn't have to, face any of the ridicule for that. I don't even know what Fox...
Frankly, every woman that's been married to him and like been with him has said that they've been beaten by him, to be quite frank with you.
I don't know what Foxy's even done. I mean, everything is kind of behind the scenes stuff. It's not anything publicly. I think that, I know Mad Max speaking to the female agenda. I think the only female MCs they're going to have ahead of Kim is going to be Missy and Nicki. And I do think it's problematic to put Nicki ahead of Kim, but
Missy. It's problematic to put any female ahead of Kim. I mean, if you're going to count Lauren, because Lauren's about to make this list too.
Oh, yeah, Lauren's going to make the list too. Yeah.
So it's not as sexist. The list isn't as sexist as you think.
No, I don't think the list is
Foxy
sexist.
might have some sexism to it, though. Because it's like, do you
think that... do you think Cardi or Megan's going to make it?
Oh, it's very problematic.
Because we're talking about Billboard here. We're talking about Billboard here, right?
What do you think about the Brat? The Brat. That's why I just thought of the Brat.
No, the Brat's not making the list.
MC to go platinum.
She's not making the list. The Brat's not making
She's the first female MC to go platinum. This is Billboard.
She's not making the list.
Okay, it's very problematic.
I think that there's a chance that Cardi can make the list, though. I don't see Cardi not making the list.
There's no way Cardi's making this list.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I don't think they're that stupid.
Okay, well, let me go over this one more time.
You have to be very stupid.
The 30s was pretty heavy, man. I'd take this 30s list in a versus probably over their 20s list.
I mean, it's hard for me to totally disagree with some of the things. The only one that kind of stuck out to me is like, I don't know, it made me think like about Chuck and about Kim, but that was about it.
Dr. Dre at 40. He shouldn't be on the list, right?
Well, I
Um,
mean,
Ludacris at 39. That's
yeah,
about right.
yeah.
Gucci at 38. I don't have no problem with that either.
Mm,
Um, Common
mm,
at 37. Common should be in the top 20 arena, I think.
yeah.
Um, Yassine Bey at 36.
That might be
Honestly, that's
that
not
might
as
be a little
off.
high.
Yeah. I,
People keep talking about how much they love him. It's like, no, no, no. We all love who he is and what he does on the mic as an MC. But it's like, do you understand the work that people have put in
yeah,
and how
exactly.
great that work is? Like, how about this? How can you even sit him next to Common when Common's walking around with 5 great albums? Most is walking around with 5 great albums.
He doesn't even have 5 albums.
No, I mean,
He doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, we count Black Star albums, yeah, but
that makes it what, 7 total?
yeah. Future
Yeah.
at 35. I guess I don't have a problem with that. Chuck at 34. I think Chuck's more of a top 20 guy. Busta at 33. I'm kind of okay with, that range.
No, that's not
T.I.
like the
at
Buster and the
32.
Ti thing. It's like, no, I think they kind of do maybe fall in that range.
I think T.I. at 32, I think he's more of a top 30 guy, but I would probably give him a little bit, a couple more slots up. But, just judging based on what people say about T.I. and how you guys react to me having T.I. higher than that slightly, maybe 32 is about right.
But that's what I mean when I say in that range. It's like, no, no, no. They're within striking distance of some of these guys. I do feel like I don't know. Where are we on our list? Because I feel like Chuck is definitely top 30.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's get to our list. I'll pull it up on the screen right now. Now that's a group list. And here is the list. So the list goes here. Nas at number 1. Jay-Z at number 2. Rakim at 3. Tupac at 4. Biggie at 5. KRS at 6. Ice Cube at 7. Snoop at 8. LL Cool J at 9. Scarface at 10. Kanye West at 11. Ghostface at 12, Raekwon at 13, Wayne at 14, Common at 15, which is 37 on their list, and Chuck D at 16, which is 34 on their list. Kendrick Lamar at 17, Prodigy at 18, Black Thought at 19, Method Man at 20. I think we got a real solid 20 there. I don't know, man. I think Prodigy might be slightly too high, in my opinion. But, yeah. Jadakiss at 20.
How and why?
Do we really think Prodigy's over Method Man?
I mean, I think
And
Method
Black
Man
Thought.
is great. I mean,
I know we discussed the Black Thought thing, and you're right.
yeah, like Mobb Deep is just better than the Roots as a group, and they're both the frontmen for that, right?
Yeah. Prodigy has impactful records, and Prodigy has impact just with his style alone. So,
yeah, I think a lot of that is that East Coast impact. It's like, like he's that dude. You know what I mean?
what would you say to somebody said Big Boy no Dre? Guys, Big Boy actually has solo material. I'm gonna say this for the new people in the room. Andre is not applicable of being on an individual list. There are no songs with Andre 3000 rapping 3 verses by himself, let alone a full album. Big Boy has 4 solo albums. Put some respect on his name, please. Andre's just not applicable. I'm sorry. Now, we know in a vacuum, Andre's an incredible MC. Outkast is a great group. We're not going to give Andre Outkast's catalog. Big Boy's not getting Outkast's catalog by his mention on this list. So
we should do a lyricist list and a talent list because Andre would make both of those lists.
Yes, we're gonna do a lyricist list, a talent list. I think
just like talent.
Yeah,
like who's the most talented MCs?
Yeah. But what would you say to someone that says, "Yo, you got Prodigy over Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane"?
See, what I would tell you, this where Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane's, I guess, like they have class. I mean, in Kane's, with Kane specifically, I don't think Kane has enough material to stand up to Prodigy.
Cool G
You know
Rap.
what I'm Cool G Rap has the material, and as crazy as this may seem, because G Rap is kind of the author, like when people think of East Coast gangster rap now, well, they think of P. They used to think of G Rap. That's how cold Prodigy was. Like in most ways, you know, and G Rap to me is a better lyricist. But I think that might be the only thing that he's better at than P. You know what I mean? Like G Rap's the better lyricist. You can hear it on The Realist on Murder Music. You know what I'm saying? Because that might have been that's verse of the year material that G Rap gave. But G Rap has G Rap ever written something like A Quiet Storm?
It's fair.
Has he ever made a Keep It Thorough?
It's fair.
Does he have a Shook Ones Part 2?
Now,
A Hell on Earth?
What say you to the
Nighttime
Method
Vultures.
Man?
Like
right.
we talk about G Rap because of his lyrical capability, but what's G Rap's best verse to people? You get what I'm saying? Like P shit is so legendary to people that it's like, oh, you start arguing about the verses. Like you and me have had an argument about like which verse on Give Up the Goods is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's like that. So it's like when it's one of those things that's like, well, when you really start looking at it, it's like, well, how many guys have more or on more classic rap records than him? Because he has a large bulk of them, and and it's not that he's just on these records, and it's not just this Mobb Deep thing. No, he's clearly the star of these records that are classic. You know what I mean? It's like go look at the I Shot You remix. He's like LL Cool J's on that song, Keith Murray's on that song, Foxy Brown, Fat Joe, Prodigy has the best verse.
But it feels like, you know,
like
the longevity of somebody like a G Rap, and we're going to get to Guru and stuff too, because we're hearing everything y'all are saying. It seems like the longevity of somebody like a G Rap, it seems like it's being disregarded to put someone like Prodigy, whose run some could consider slightly short, over somebody who's been as consistent is G Rap from the 80s to even now. I mean, just dropped the album in December.
I mean, now, it's not like I have G Rap. It's not like we have G Rap somewhere like far in the land away from Prodigy. G Rap's at 24.
You know what I'm saying? Carlo with the super chat says, is Prodigy the best MC from Queens not named Nas?
Yeah, yes. Yes. Like, he's better than 50 and LL to me as an MC. Like, if we're talking on some rap shit, like, yes. If we're just talking on some rap shit, then yes. Like, I think the MC conversation is between G-Rap, Nas, and Prodigy as far as, like, Queens dudes. I think the totality of it, you bring in a LL and a 50. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, think about those things. I mean, because the thing is, when it comes to Queens is about, I mean, we know from the verses that you and I did, Queens is about making big records as opposed to the rapidy rap stuff for the most part.
No. I thought Brooklyn was the big records and Queens was the rapidy rap stuff. Like,
nah, because Queens got people like Run DMC and Tribe and you know what I'm
I
saying?
guess.
Like, and 50
and LL. So you look at those records as big. Those are still rapidy rap records to me, Mike. It's like when you're playing Check the Rhyme, that's rapidy rap.
You think that like the Lost Boys, Lex Coops, Beamers, and Benz was rapidy rap? Like Queens was about anthems, man. Like, and yeah, I want people in the chat to know. Yes, we know that A Day in the Life of Andre Benjamin or whatever exists, but this is one long verse about his whole life. It's still not 3 verses and a hook. How many MCs can we say, period, not even just in a group or whatever, can we say, period, do not have an individual rap song where it's 3 verses and a hook? How many can we say?
No, I can't think of any.
How many don't have that? Like, that's a prerequisite alone, not to mention an actual solo rap album. Let's just be honest.
Here's what I would tell you. The things that you're saying about G-Rap are making me want to move G-Rap up, but you're still not giving me enough to put him over Prodigy. Like, I hear what everybody's saying, but, like, really think about it. When you think about East Coast gangster rap, who's got the most classic rap songs? Like, still, to this day, because he's, like, the author of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, go show me, go give me the guy.
Now,
Go
why
give
do
me
we
the guy.
have Prodigy and Black Thought above the guy who made "You're All I Need," "Bring the Pain," and who's the front man of the most lyrical rap group of all time?
Because that guy doesn't have what we would call truly great solo material. And Prodigy and Black Thought have made great solo material. HNIC is a great album. Cheat Codes is a great album. So it's like that
It's the
is literally
album.
what. Is that not enough for you?
I'm just asking questions here, you
No, no,
know.
no. If it's not enough for you, like we need to make it fluid and switch it around. So it's like if you want to slide Prodigy down, like how about this? I mean, do you think that there are 25 MCs better than Prodigy?
I mean,
That's
off
what I'm
the top
saying.
of my
Like
head,
you
I
know what
don't.
you heard. Like let's not. Like I know there's a brevity thing that comes on along with it, but it's like no. That's what I mean. It's like, do you see the classic shit that he made while he was here?
Well, let's go over the criteria again. Do you have the
Okay.
criteria in front of you, or is it on the list?
Yes, I believe I do.
Okay. Because I think that'll help guide us. And again, with that same thing you said about, Method Man and, Black Thought and Prodigy, I guess my question would be, why is he in front of Redman?
Those are fair questions. That's why we're unpacking it.
Mm-hmm.
Impact,
Impact,
live live performance. First of all, whose impact is bigger?
Method Man,
Prodigy, huh?
Method Man or
Prodigy,
Prodigy?
Prodigy, Method Man, Black Thought, Cool G Rap. Those four.
I'd say Method Man. Well, Impact, I guess you could say G-Rap for being the pioneer.
Okay. Live performance.
Jeez, that could go to either Method Man or Black Thought. I'm leaning more Meth.
I'm leaning more thought. Lyric storytelling.
Ooh. Lyrics, thought, storytelling, either Prodigy or Cool G Rap.
Right. I would take Prodigy on the storytelling, but I'm cool if you want to say G Rap. G Rap's a great storyteller. Classic albums / songs. And that's where Prodigy wins. He's
Yeah.
got classic, because the Mobb Deep shit is super classic, and they're super classic songs on
But
there.
one could say that's Mobb Deep stuff, not his solo stuff. But Quiet Storm is a solo Prodigy record. There and see, he does have solo classic material within that Mobb Deep stuff, and he does have Keep It Thorough. And I think when you look at Keep It Thorough and the stuff on HNIC and Return of the Mac, it's not a drop off from what you receive, from the Mobb Deep material. Now when it comes to Andre, we just don't know what that solo stuff even looks like. We don't know what Miss Jackson would sound like if it was three Andre verses. It never happened. We don't know what Bombs Over Bad Dads likes with two Andre verses. It never happened.
Classic collaborations.
Method Man.
I'm with you on that. Career longevity and quality. I think that would go to Cool G Rap at this point.
Yeah.
Voice.
Method Man gets that one too.
So I guess based on the things that you're saying that you don't think that maybe Prodigy is too high. He just shouldn't be ahead of Method Man. Because
Yeah.
everything that you said still has Prodigy ahead of Black Thought, but maybe not ahead of Method Man or G Rap. So
Method
maybe
Man
we
is
have
such
them
a
two.
interesting character in all of this, man. It's like, again, we can't disregard his his individual prowess is what it is. But we can't disregard his impact on Wu-Tang material from a featured standpoint and how he changes the color of every record. And I wouldn't be saying this, once again, before the Andre people come in here. I wouldn't be saying this if Method Man didn't have a Bring the Pain, or if he didn't have a I'll Be There For You. Or you know what I mean? If he didn't have these records where we know that he can hold the load on his own, or a Torture, or shit like that, if he didn't have these records, I wouldn't be talking like this.
Okay, so maybe what you're saying is that it needs to go Method Man at 18. So it goes Kendrick at 17, Method Man at 18, Prodigy at 19, Black Thought at 20. Now, where do you think about Black Thought and Cool G Rap since you're forging this conversation? You want to bring up the criteria and compare the two and see who kind of wins out?
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. So impact, that would be G-Rap.
G-Rap, yes.
Live performance, that would be Thought.
That would be Thought, yeah.
I think the lyrics and the storytelling is a split again because I give Thought the lyrics. Even though that's G-Rap, I would still give it the Thought, but I would give the storytelling to G-Rap.
Yeah.
Classic album / songs. This is what's interesting.
I would go to Thought on that.
Okay. Longevity of albums / songs.
If we're talking about albums plural, I might go Thought on that too.
Okay. Classic collaborations.
That might actually be. I don't know.
I think about all the Roots stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Double Trouble with Most, the 2 joints with Common, the one on Philadelphia and the one on Things Fall Apart, the Hypnotic with D'Angelo, Push Up Your Lighter with Bahamadia.
Do you think about Raw? You think about Rap Life, not Rap Life. With Nas. You think about
Fast Life.
Yeah, Fast Life. I'm thinking about fucking Tash and Raekwon. But yeah, Fast Life. You think about all of the collaborations with Mobb Deep. Shit, even that collaboration he did with Prodigy on that Funk Flex album.
Yeah. That might be a draw. I mean, because he's worked all. Because G-Rap has worked all the way up to with Conway and them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Right. So you're right. That might be G. Because I think Thought's classic collaborations came within a brief time within that group framework with the Roots.
Within the camp, kind of.
Yeah, mostly during like Things in Philadelphia. So no, that's fair to give that to G. Career longevity, quality.
You know what? Obviously, Cool G Rap has been in this thing forever, but I think that the longevity that Black Thought is experiencing is special. He seems to get better and better. Like he went from being a very dope MC in the 90s to being an elite MC in the 2020s or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was elite in his circle and in the circle of us who listened to, the Roots and, Most and Common. But everybody knows that Black Thought is like the nicest on the mic in this era. You know what I mean? He is the poster child for bars 20-something years later.
So I really think what we have going on, so whose voice is better?
I think Black Thought's voice is better, in my opinion.
So Thought is taking that 20 spot over G-Rap too, but you're giving me reason to think that we need to put G-Rap over Redman, Cole, and Jadakiss though, and put him at 21. What say you?
Let me go to the Super Chats. I think that this is a great lineup we got here. Eric Terrell with the Super Chat says, if Curtis Blow is the prototype, why is he not top 20? Eric, I think we need to do a pioneers list because this is the harsh reality of it, right? A lot of the guys like Curtis, Melly Mel, even Run DMC as individuals to a degree, especially DMC, because I personally think DMC was the nicer of the two, even though Run had, standout moments. I think that based on how the industry evolved and kind of moved away from them and them being on the ground floor, they didn't get the opportunity to evolve with the industry and continue on their catalog, and the people that came after them were able to reap those level of benefits. Not to mention the Grandmaster Casses of the world who didn't even really get the opportunity to put out records like he needed to. You know what I mean? So it's tough to put them in conversations with people who have such a wealth of catalog and material and still be fair. So I think that we need a different pioneers list, to consider, the impact that they put forth to set the table for everybody to do what they're doing. But yeah, if they're not on these lists, don't come crashing down on us because, we got a list for them too. You think that's the fairest thing? I mean...
No, that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
We definitely need to do it once we get this done.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the framework. Like I said, this is a canon year for us. We're going to try to canonize a lot of things with you all's assistance.
And I want to explain that too, where it's like, listen, it's just the truth of the matter. Like, it's very tough to sit here and put Melly Mel right here with LL with everything that LL's done, it just doesn't seem fair. And I'm pretty sure LL himself would say, yes, Melly Mel deserves to be over me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I think that to do it justice, though, I think Curtis Blow and people like that, and Houdini, and not DJ. I was gonna say Rap Jalil. You know what I'm saying? These guys were dope, and they were a big part of the framework of everything that followed. But it's tough to put them up against Paid in Full and the Great
Right.
Adventures of Slick Rick. It's not fair to them, to be honest.
Well, that's what I mean. So you have to look at something like, I'll tell you this. So, Mike, do you remember the DOC?
Oh yeah.
Like what he sounded like before the.
Mm-hmm.
How much better do you think Ice Cube is than that DOC that you heard?
I think from a content standpoint, that's where I would give it to him. Like, I love the writing standpoint that Ice Cube comes from, but if you lose Ice Cube and you gain the DOC,
You're not
we
losing much,
saw
are you?
that, yeah, NWA was able to carry on.
You're not losing a lot when
You're
you
not
lose
losing
like
a
the
lot.
DOC for Ice Cube.
Sonically, you're not.
Sonically. Now
Yeah.
we have Ice Cube at 7 on this list. So you know, like the way the game go, like making a list like this, I'm just doing this to show you like how hard it is. There's somebody like the DOC who, like, had he been able to have a career, could be like in competition to be top 10 on this list because
Right.
like there wouldn't, like you said, outside of like the content. And I think what makes Ice Cube special is the perspective from which he speaks. Would you agree to that?
I agree.
It's not just that the content is there, there's a perspective to it that's different. You know?
He's like
And,
the young man's Chuck D at the time, like
Yeah.
the young version of Chuck D from a young person's voice.
Right. And so, but you're not missing much. So making a list like this is hard where the DOC isn't going to make our top 50, but has top 10 talent. Where somebody like Beans is floating around here as top 5 talent. Like, you know what I mean? It's not just a talent thing, though.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, obviously Busta Rhymes has his work in the game. But if somebody said that they listen to more Beanie Siegel than Busta Rhymes, I'm not gonna tell them that they're not telling the truth,
Give me 2 seconds,
Yeah,
Mike.
do your
I gotta
thing. Let me get to
fan
the
out.
super chats real quick. Andrell Green says, "Can y'all rank the most influence? The most influence and kid/family tree between Rakim, Kane, Cool G Rap, KRS-One, and Slick Rick." Off the top of my head, obviously, Rakim's family tree is very, very tough. Same as Cool G. Damn, Kane too. But I think Slick Rick might have the biggest family tree. I think that's a great discussion, Andrew, because Kane, I think that his tree extends a lot longer than, what, a lot of his prime material was. And I think that's why his impact is so huge as a performer, his image, his flow, just that whole Brooklyn thing anyway. I mean, you can look down the whole line of Brooklyn MCs. He's the one. Inspector with the super chat says Prodigy has a classic solo and 3 more with Mobb Deep. Yeah, it's fair. That's fair. All you need is a couple of solo albums for the buy-in, and then we have to consider your contributions to your group. And again, when you look at Prodigy and his contribution to Mobb Deep, there were a lot of songs where he was just taking them on his own. Like, we kind of view Q-Tip in that way too, because Bonita is a Q-Tip song, even though it's on the Tribe album. But, you know what I'm saying, you got songs where this individual took on the reins themselves. So that makes it a little different. Who do you think has the biggest family tree of influence when it comes to Rakim, Kane, Cool G Rap, and Slick Rick, I think was the other name, and KRS. KRS is who I forgot.
I mean, that's a heavy conversation. I think the Rakim and Cool G Rap lyrical tree kind of cross-reference themselves a lot of ways because of Biggie and Jay and Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because those 3 guys pulled from those 2 guys, I think lyrically and street material wise.
Pun is in Cool G's tree. Yes.
Huh?
Would you say Pun is from Cool G's tree?
Lyrically, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that when you think about it,
See,
and
but that's what I mean. That's
yeah,
kind of like from Nas's tree, but that's kind of Cool G's tree. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like that's what I mean. Like Big J and Nas like were different because it's like they kind of took the guys that they were before them and they took like a bunch of shit from them, but like they flipped it and made it their own. So there's like a lot of Ice Cube and Scarface and Cool G Rap and Kane
yeah.
and Big, and there's like a lot of KRS One and Cool G Rap and Rakim and Nas, and there's
I
some
think
Cool
there's some
G Rap.
Slick Rick in him too.
Yeah, and there's some Cool G Rap and Kane and Jay, and I think there might be some Slick Rick in all three of them actually.
I
You
think
know,
there's some Slick Rick in everybody. I think Slick Rick might have the biggest family tree. You got Ghost.
Slick Rick might have the biggest influence.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you got people like Snoop out there, and
I
you
was thinking
honestly,
Snoop. Snoop is from Slick Rick's tree,
oh, definitely. I
and
think to
so
a
is
certain
Ghost. You're right
degree,
about Ghost. Yeah,
I think to a certain degree, Raekwon too, to a certain degree. I
yeah,
think
just
that,
the fly talk. That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah, no, Ray's fly talk is Slick Rick shit. Yeah, it's
you,
just real street slang. You know.
when Andre, since y'all want to talk Andre 3000, when he was on Trans DF Express, and I mean, you could tell Slick Rick is an influence of his. Like, I mean, even
Mhm.
Art of Storytelling, when they had Slick Rick on there. I mean, Slick Rick's whole get up, even Big Boy, you could tell that from the swag side of things, even.
I think
Like,
Slick Rick is probably the one of all of them
yeah,
because of Lottie Dottie in the show.
yeah. And I think Lottie Dottie is probably the most copied rap song of all time.
I mean, I've actually done some research. Lottie Dottie is the most sampled rap song
I can
ever.
believe it. I was just guessing. See,
And
I
I
can
think the
believe
show is like third, Mike.
it. And we're not
And
even,
Children's
yeah,
Story is like seven. People understand this.
yeah.
He's the author of Lottie Dottie, the show, Children's Story, and Mona Lisa, and Teenage Love, and Hey Young World. That's six
Hmm.
like that. Those are six like records that are gonna live
Forever. And they live
forever.
through other people's records too. Like,
Mhm.
it's insane. Okay, so this part of the conversation you were saying, huh, we
So Black
got
Thought would be our 20
Jadakiss,
right now.
Cole, Redman, and G Rap.
Yeah, see now right now I would be bumping G Rap up to 21 based on all those things you said because I don't see how Jadakiss, Cole, and Redman are going to beat him if we have the same conversation based on the criteria. You
Well,
feel
let's
me?
put Cole up. Let's put Cole and this Jadakiss thing up first.
Okay.
Let's put them through the criteria.
Okay. Impact.
Impact is Cole.
Impact is Kiss.
You think it's Kiss?
I would say so.
I think on this era on,
You want to know what? Never mind. I can't say that. This era has been crazy about Cole.
yeah, I think that's Cole.
Live performance.
That may be Cole too, but if someone wants to say Kiss after the verses and all that, I can dig that. I
I
think
can
we
dig a
had
tie
this
for this one.
conversation. Okay.
I can dig a tie for that one.
Okay.
I don't think either one of them is like all time stellar on stage, but they're both really dope ass performers.
Yeah.
Lyrics / storytelling.
I think I might have to give that one to Cole too.
Think I'm giving the lyrics to Kiss, but I'm giving the storytelling to Cole, so I think it's another tie for me.
Okay.
Do you think that Cole lyrically is better than Kiss? Because I don't know if I think that necessarily. Because I don't know if consistently he lyrically hits the mark the way Jadakiss does. It's like it's easy for Jadakiss to throw darts. You know what I'm saying?
I think
It's like, no, this is what I do. I'm lyrically going to hit you with something.
when you start talking about the diversity in subject matter and taking lyricism to that height, it may be Cole. I don't know. Well, I mean, again, Jada has Y in his catalog, but I'm not a huge fan of that record.
Havoc did Y too. A lot of people don't remember that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who do you guys have lyrically? Cole or Jada? All right. So what's the next criteria?
Classic albums / songs. So we went Cole for lyrics and storytelling.
We'll go draw for now because
Okay.
it does sound like storytelling and lyrics is on Jada. Classic songs and classic album songs, whatever. That's Cole.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Longevity of albums, songs.
Huh.
Kiss has made a lot of shit that's living song wise.
He has. That has to be Kiss.
Yeah. Classic collaborations, that's Kiss too.
Yeah.
Career
Voice.
longevity quality.
Yeah, that's Kiss too. Okay.
Voice.
That's Kiss too. Okay.
So Kiss just won the last 4, and yeah.
DeCarlo says Cole rapped with a British accent, guys. Come on. Rap with a British accent. Gucci, Dennis Cole in the latest fashion. Blow accent. Andrew Green with the super chat says, would you agree from the current big 3? Cole from the tree of Nas, Drake from the tree of Jay-Z, and Kendrick from the tree of Andre 3000. People say Pac for Kendrick, but I don't see it. In my opinion, he is Andre 3000 / Eminem hybrid.
No. I see some Pac in the in the black conceptualization of the records. There's a blackness to some of the records.
I'm leaning more towards Andrew Green. I hear a lot of Eminem and Kendrick, but when it comes to the Andre thing, and I say this respectfully, that should be my. That should be my.
Say, and I say this respectfully, we always know the disrespect is coming, just in case you were wondering.
I say this respectfully. Kendrick rips from Andre 3000 style. I mean, you can listen to Slim Cutter Calhoun's song, It's Okay. Andre's verse on there. Kendrick has ripped that and kind of just, made parts of his career with it. I mean, you listen to The Art of Peer Pressure, that is just a straight Andre rip. I don't even know if that's like, again, it's probably paying homage. It's just kind of like Nas on Destroy and Rebuild. That's Slick Rick, right? But except for Kendrick's done it 20 plus times. So I guess when you say influence, yeah, I hear that part of it. I do hear that more than Pac. I don't think he had. I hear what you're saying, Coop, but I don't think he has the ability to approach records in the way that Pac did, because you can't really.
Few men do.
Of course, but I think that's a style choice too, because when you approach records in the way that Pac did, you got to be direct. You know what I'm saying? And I think that he is too. You can't be lyrical miracle and direct at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be a word salad Eminem guy and be direct with your words and delivery at the same time. It doesn't work like that. If you're going to be a direct MC, you got to kind of have a style like a Chuck D or an Ice Cube or a Tupac that's just straight up in your face that can't be misconstrued. That's why I love Project Pat so much. Like, Project Pat is a direct MC. He's going to sit here and tell you what the fuck he's about to do to fuck you up, right? Kendrick's not that kind of rapper.
Okay, so, and here's what I really wanted to do is that, I'm really trying to create like a top 25 that once we get those top 25 in and it's understood that it's like, well, who do you have that's going to get their way in past these 25 based on, this criteria? And I think we're getting close. And so right now we have Black Thought and then Jadakiss. So do you want to do the Cole Redman thing?
We can do the Cole and Redman thing. And I want to get Pusha T in this.
And then we need to do the G-Rap thing. Because I think G-Rap actually might end up being ahead of these guys. That's what I'm saying. I think so, too. Yeah.
Okay, Cole Redman. Let's go.
Because Kiss beat Cole by 1.
Okay. Kiss
or by a half, technically, yeah. So, Impact.
I guess that's Cole because he impacts a whole generation. He's part of the big 3 of this era, and we can't say that from, Redman in his era.
Correct. Live performance, I go Redman, actually.
Redman, yeah.
Lyrics and storytelling.
That may go Cole.
Ooh.
To be fair.
How about this? As much as I love Cole, I don't know if Cole's highs or like Redman's highs?
I
Do you understand what
understand.
I'm saying?
Redman's a personal favorite of mine. Like
No,
I
no, no, no,
said,
no. Redman's highs lyrically is just some of the
oh, I
best lyrical
understand.
rap stuff that
Quotable
you'll
shit.
find though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Quotable
can you
shit.
say that? Can you say that about Cole's lyrics? Like, can you say like this is lyrically some of the best stuff that I'll find? Like, how about this? Does he even have a How High verse? Like the third verse of How High, the real version? Does he have a verse like that?
I was thinking
Redman's
about that
got
verse
verses
too.
like that.
I mean, he has Muddy Waters. The long-faced murderer, serving over 2 billion motherfuckers a day like Mickey D's circular, working ya, ship the hour like a burglar, my crew hurting ya, like we never even heard of you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. Like specifically when it comes to somebody like Red, and I hear what you're saying, and I'm willing to put
I'm
this
trying
a tie.
to be fair. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm willing to say that this is a tie because I think J. Cole is a better storyteller, but I do not think that J. Cole is a better lyricist.
I'm fine with that. 100%.
Yeah. So that's going to have to be a tie. Classic albums and songs. See, I think this might be a tie again because I think Redman actually still has a slightly better catalog.
I think Redman got the edge.
Cole has the songs.
I think Redman has the edge on that when it comes to the catalog with the individual songs. I could see that going. I agree with you.
So I think that's another tie.
Yeah.
A longevity of albums and songs, which means we have a tie up to this point. It's 1-1 and 2 ties.
Longevity of albums, I'm going with Redman on that, in my opinion.
And songs? Yeah, actually, I am too. Yeah, that's Red. Ooh, classic collaborations. But that's Red.
Well, that's interesting. I think that's Red too.
Yeah, that is Red.
Okay.
Career longevity, quality.
We can go Cole with that.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, he's still down. He's still down one right now, though, and then he goes to the last one, which is voice. Right. Cole is down one right now. Voice is the last category.
That could go either way. Cause I mean, I love Redman's voice. I know people who like Method Man more than Redman just simply off of voice, but again, that's Method Man.
Can I tell you what? As much as everybody else loves these two voices, I'm not a super big fan of either one of their voices. And so I'm cool if this is a tie, but that would give Redman the nod.
I think Redman should get the nod. In my personal opinion, I like Redman's voice slightly better. I mean, both of their voices are cool, but I'm with you. It's not like...
Even if it's a tie, I'm saying Redman is still up one, so because that would be 3 ties, and Redman would win the 3 for 2.
I think Reggie should be ahead. I think that's cool.
I think that's. I mean, we're just doing it by the criteria. Based on the criteria, he should be. And so, what we're doing is we're flipping.
So that would be Redman at 22 and Cole at 23 at this point. And then we got to get G-Rap in the fold.
Yeah. So I guess G-Rap would be right there because this is what I'm saying. So can we just do something right quick? Because Jadakiss and Redman and Cole, right? I want to do G-Rap versus Jadakiss right quick. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Let's do G-Rap versus Jadakiss real quick.
Okay. So, impact.
G-Rap.
Live performance.
Jadakiss.
Lyric/storytelling. Right.
G-Rap, I think, maybe, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Classic album/songs. That's a tie to me because G-Rap actually has classic rap albums, but not classic songs like Kiss.
I would give Kiss the songs, and I would give G-Rap the albums.
Yeah. Right. So that's a tie. So G-Rap is up 2-1 in a tie. Longevity of albums and songs.
That might be Jada, man.
I'll give that to Jada. And so now it's tied. Classic collaborations.
That might be Jada.
That's Jada. Career, longevity, quality. I think that's G. Because, like, Kiss ain't made no classics.
Okay,
and
I'm fine.
Cool G Rap is cool. I mean, like, Cool G Rap still out here making albums. Like, he came out when we was, like, 5 years old.
No, you're right. I'm fine with that. And again, I only pause because Jada just, he kind of like the Black Thought thing. He just sounds so good now.
No, I get what you're saying.
But I think the problem is he hasn't given us a cheat codes or anything to really give him that, you know.
I mean, Cool G Rap made Road to Riches and Wanted Dead or Alive.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. So what I tell you is that hold on, G-Rap won Impact, Lyrics. We got 3. We got 4.
We're not saying G-Rap has no classic songs, guys. Come on now. Don't
Yeah,
be
so
crazy.
this is about the matter of voice, Mike.
It's gonna come down to voice.
I mean, Impact went to G-Rap. Live performance went to Kiss. That's 1-1. The lyrics and storytelling with the G-Rap, so it's 2-1. The classic album songs was a tie, so G-Rap's up 2-1. The longevity of album songs went to Kiss, which put it back at a tie. The classic collabs went to who?
Kiss.
Right, career longevity quality with the G-Rap. So we're tied. So the voice is the deciding factor.
I think Jada has the voice between the two.
But that's what I'm saying. So I think that it goes Jada at 21, but maybe G-Rap at 22.
I agree.
Because I think he's about to beat Redman and Cole on a lot of the same shit, don't you think?
I agree.
Right. So Kiss is at 21 and G-Rap is at 22, actually.
G-Rap's at 22, Redman's at 23, and Cole's at 24. Yeah. Now we're going to have to put, and I know Kane just said that J. Cole is his hero. We're going to have to put Kane up against Cole through this criteria. I think Pusha T should slide in here and, see what kind of...
I think we might need to move DMX up potentially, too.
I think so, too.
Because a lot of the things that I thought about Prodigy, like I could say about DMX, I just don't think, and there's nothing against DMX. I don't think DMX's classic shit is as classic as the Mobb Deep shit. Barely. And as much as Quiet Storm is a special record, Mike.
It is. DeCarlo with the super chat says, are y'all giving Redman longevity of album songs over Cole when Cole has more platinum albums and songs?
Those are record sales, though. We're actually talking about like the actual classic nature of the songs and the albums. And when you really look at it, if you look at what the album, There Is a Dark Side, Muddy Waters, and Docs the Dame. First of all, those albums came out 4 in a row, and Cole can't never say he's made product like that 4 times in a row, for one. But there's the Method Man collaboration stuff within there. There's a lot of classic guest appearances on there, like the Music Makes Me High remix. There's How High. There's the entirety of Muddy Waters. There's even dope-ass singles like Tonight's the Night and I'll Be That. So it's like Red did a little bit of everything.
And, Funkorama is on Eric Sermon's album, not Red's.
Oh, and El Nino, the Death Squad album, Mike. The Death Squad album is dope as fuck.
Yeah.
El Nino the shit.
Dame says, Renee versus Song Cry.
Renee.
I think Renee's the better song.
Easy.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, what say you to the idea that this criteria are not created equal? I value voice and classic albums / songs over collaborations. They don't equate.
You can't say that, because here's why people can't say that. Without collaborative efforts, well, you don't get cream. You don't get nothing but a G thing. You don't get the scenario remix. You get what I'm saying? You don't get the symphony. You understand what I'm saying?
I was kind of there too.
Do you understand how many things that you don't get? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. All these things are important.
And with the voice thing, I'm going to say this again. No, the voice matters as much as the lyrics do, because it's like you're not listening to these guys. What Guru say? It's mostly the voice.
Speaking of Guru, where do you think Guru fits in all of this mix?
Can I tell you what's been so startling to me about this as somebody who's always loved Guru? Is how many other people love Guru and have castigated me for him not being in the top 20. In the top 20.
Yeah.
And it's like I never personally thought he would make anybody's top 20, 25, because I just felt there were too many guys lyrically and song-wise who had done too much work as solo MCs for him to make that measure. But his stuff is holding up really, really well. Mm-hmm. And, I'm open to having a conversation about having him too low at 36. How about that? But I don't know if we're there yet, because this was my thing with putting him at 36. It's like, well, look at where we are right now. We haven't got to the DMX, Kane, or Slick Rick.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to those, and I think that maybe we could, throw Guru in the mix just for the people out there can, see how those things match up.
Right. And
Oh,
also, too, I don't want him to get disrespected. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, we'll put him up against somebody, and then it's like, 8-1 on a category thing. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
there's
You know what I
no
mean?
disrespect,
I
period.
put them
All of
where
these
I'm
guys are
putting people where I'm
legends.
putting people for a reason too. It's not accidental. And if you're seeing how it's folding out, it's super close. Like think about it: having Kiss where we had him, and having G-Rap where we had him. Look,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. So now we need to do, what is it?
Well,
Kane and Red.
Cole
Kane.
and Kane would be next. How
Yeah,
about
Cole
this?
and Kane. Yeah, Cole and Kane.
Impact. Well, that's Kane.
That's Kane.
Uh, Live performance. That's Kane.
Jeez, yeah.
Right. Lyrics / storytelling. I'll tell you what, that's a tie because I don't think Cole's better lyrically than Kane.
No,
I think
he's
very
not.
few guys
He's a
lyrically are
better
better than Kane.
storyteller, but he's not better than Kane.
So that's a
And
tie.
you know what?
Class-
And I want to say this because I feel like the storytelling thing is an era thing. I think that Kane just didn't tell those kind of stories because people in its era didn't really tell stories like that. If Kane was in an era thriving at his peak, in an era where people were telling stories, I think we would have got more stories from Kane.
I think that's where Slick Rick really had the biggest influence that you can see and where he might have the biggest tree is because when you listen to the stories that Biggie and Nas are coming up with specifically, it's like, well, you can't really go to anybody coming up with songs like that before they're crime stories. But
I would
Slick Rick
say
is really
Scarface. But yeah, and I think that comes from Slick Rick too. So
yeah, but I think Slick Rick. I mean, you could argue Scarface's storytelling comes off the Slick Rick tree, though. That's what I'm saying.
It does.
Yes,
He would say that. Yeah.
no, you're right. He would say that actually. So classic albums, songs that would go to Cole,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Longevity of albums / songs.
Huh.
I think that's interesting because Ain't No Half Stepping is still probably one of the 20 to 30 best rap records I've ever heard, Mike.
Kane's music has legs, man.
It does.
And even though,
It's brief, but I mean, but what he has is gold, Mike.
I might go with Kane on that.
Okay. I was thinking Ty actually.
We can go with Ty to be fair, I guess, but for me, I would say Kane in that, but again, it's kind of
No,
an era
actually, I
difference.
think that's Kane too. You're right, Mike. His shit holds.
And then for a record from the '80s to hold like that, and we gotta keep it above. We got to give him credit for the Vapors too. We got to give him credit for those records.
He did write the Vapors.
Those records held. Those Biz Marquee records held.
Yeah, he wrote those too.
Yeah.
His verse on the Symphony held too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Classic
Setting it
collaborations. Well, speaking of the Symphony, I think that might be Kane too.
Yeah. He got MVP in there too. I mean, now J. Cole has some great collaborations as well.
They don't have first of all, he doesn't even have anything like on the level of the Symphony like to even compare that to. And then you can like start digging into the other Kane stuff. You know what I'm saying?
P's
that he's just
Johnny P's caddy? No, he's like,
What? Don't do that.
Mad Max says, in Cole's defense, he actually lasted past a decade and it's getting better. Redman didn't last. He said Redman didn't last past the 90s, so in no way should he have longevity.
Well, actually, you can't say that just yet, because what I would tell you, if you really were following Redman, I think first heard him on Headbanger, that was 91. And Red was pretty viable, I'd say, to about 2004, 2005, actually.
Okay.
And so let's wait another year or 2 or 3 and see what Cole does, because although it appears that he's getting better, that's what I'm saying is like, no, Redman made what? There Is a Dark Side, Muddy Waters, and Doc's the Name in Order. All of those albums are great.
Yeah.
All of those albums are great. I'm going to say that again. All of those albums are great.
That's fair.
And that's not counting the Def Squad El Nino album, which is great. That's not counting Blackout with Meth. That's not counting How High. That's not counting the guest features that he blazed for people. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, no, it ain't Cole as easy as you think. And Red was way hotter then you're thinking like, and Meth doesn't have. I mean, J. Cole doesn't have a How High type of collaboration, just like he doesn't have a symphony level collaboration. It's just a fact. It ain't got nothing to do with the time.
Mad Max with the super chat says MC Shan told stories too. LOL. You love to hear the story again and again. Michael Williams with the super chat says, while that line on the takeover about making it a hot song is bogus, it got me thinking, what's the better song, The World Is Yours or Dead Presidents?
Still, The World Is Yours, in my opinion. It always was, though, but that's my favorite rap song, Mike. So why would I, it's literally my favorite rap song.
I think personally, and I've said this before, it's probably end to end the best song on Illmatic. Dead Presidents is my personal favorite Jay-Z song. But if we're looking from a song aspect, as a better overall song, produced song, it is The World Is Yours, actually.
And it turned into such a one-of-one record, because how many Pete Rock and Nas records do we have floating around?
Not a whole lot.
And based on what we heard on KD3, there aren't any coming either now, are there?
I mean, we're still talking about that record, and they're still talking about that record. So, I mean, and again, and I'm not one of those people that's like, the student can never be greater than the teacher, but when you have songs that are this close, it's hard to put the one that was the original behind the one that basically was built on the other song. I mean, it's highly documented that Ski was like, yo, everybody was bumping The World Is Yours. And so I basically threw that sample over it and made the beat for Dead Presidents. And when I sent it to Jay or let Jay hear it, he said, no, keep that in there. Like, we have no Dead Presidents song without I'm out for presidents to represent me. I mean, we just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have that song. So I think that's the tiebreaker right there.
I mean, it's not Chinese arithmetic.
DeCarlo with the super chat says, y'all not being fair. Y'all talking about one record. J. Cole has a slew of classic records. Also, don't none of these guys have anything better than Forest Hill Drive or Born Center?
See, but that's where you're. Hold on. That's where you're wrong, and that's where you maybe don't know your history, because I think Wanted Dead or Alive by Cool G Rap actually is better than 2014 Forest Hills Drive. Muddy Waters by Redman is definitely better than Forest Hills Drive. Listen to what I'm saying. Muddy Waters by Redman. I love Forest Hills Drive. I do not want any smoke with Muddy Waters. It will get buried. You understand what I'm saying? Do not do that.
We should do a Patreon for that.
That's very problematic. Who you taking? You might about to have me taking Forest Hills Drive.
I am not going against.
Like that.
I'm not going against Muddy Waters.
No. What are you talking about? That's a top 5 rap album and maybe the best rap year ever. You understand? I'm gonna say that again. That's a top 5 rap album and maybe the best rap year ever.
Oh, and let me say this about the Patreon. We took off for the King holiday this Monday. We definitely got y'all. We appreciate all the Patreon folks. We have a great time on the Patreon show. Make sure you go and join the Patreon. We'll either pick it up. If we don't get it sometime this week, I know, Coop, you got a very hectic schedule this week. We don't pick it up this week, we'll double y'all up next week, but we're going to make sure people get their money's worth, because we really be getting it in on the Patreon show.
I don't think it's better. It's not better. No, Forest Hills isn't better than Wanted Dead or Alive by Cool G Rap. I listened to Wanted Dead or Alive last year. It's not better. It's not. It's not.
Where are we at on this Kane thing? Oh, DeCarlo has something else to say. He says, y'all stuck in the era that music is not like that today.
I wasn't allowed to listen to Wanted or Dead or Alive by Cool G Rap when it came out. That's before my time.
What say you, Mad Max? Mad Max seems to be one of the young voices in here. And I see some people saying DeCarlo's tripping. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's why we do this show, because we want to make sure that we're not making these lists from just stuck in the 90s, stuck in the 80s, previous era type of mentality. Where are we at with the Kane and Cole? lineup.
Mostly with Kane living career. Mostly with Kane winning. Hold on. Classic collaborations. What are we doing? Are we calling that?
Sounds like that's more Kane.
That's what I think too. Okay. Career longevity quality.
That I think that's Cole. I think that's one of the shortcomings of Kane's incredible career.
I'll give you that. Voice.
Well, that goes to Kane. To me.
So look, impact, Kane. Live performance, Kane. Voice, Kane. Classic collaborations, Kane. Like, yeah, so that's 4 right there.
Well,
lyrics and storytelling were a tie, right? Or did we give that to Kane, right? We gave lyrics storytelling. No, we gave lyrics to Kane and storytelling to Cole, so that was a tie.
Yeah.
We gave classic album songs to Cole. We gave longevity of album songs to Kane, so that's it. So Kane's got 5, so Kane's ahead of Cole.
Do we need to put Kane up against somebody else?
Well, I mean, right up under there's Redman and Cool G Rap right there.
Let's do Kane and Redman.
I'm with that. Hold
on. Jay Short with the super chat said, "I love Redman, but in my opinion, he was one of the primary beneficiaries of East Coast bias. As soon as NY had to share the crown in 05, he faded in with the pack. Not saying he wasn't great, but I think that's an interesting mindset."
Okay, Redman, impact. That's Kane.
Hold on, the working house mom with the super chat. Appreciate the love. She says, "We all know Mike D and Coop are some J. Cole haters." That's my wife, and I know she's a J. Cole fan. We're trying to be as fair as possible. Appreciate you watching the show, baby.
Really? Your wife hating on us? At least she paid to hate on us.
Right. Appreciate it. We're not being J. Cole haters. I'm trying to be as fair as possible, but I just threw me off a little bit. 36 Chambers in the super chat says, "Nah, Redman is that dude and still makes fire songs, although at a slower pace. The chat gotta give him the respect he deserves. The disrespect is crazy."
Right. They act like they don't know who Red is. See, Red's one of those people that they're like kind of like, I wouldn't say they're erasing him for the books, but not enough people are like saying his name the way that they should, you know?
What Eminem does.
Well, you're right. He does. He definitely does. So impact, Kane or Red? That's Kane.
That's Kane.
Live performance, Kane.
Yeah.
I would tell you lyrics, storytelling, I'd tell you that's Kane too. Classic albums and songs, I would tell you, is Redman.
Yeah.
Longevity of album songs, Redman.
Yep.
Classic collaborations, I would say Redman.
Yep.
Career longevity quality, I would say Redman.
Yep. That puts him ahead.
Nope. It's tied 4-4.
And you got voice.
I think that's Kane.
I think that's Kane. That's tied up. I think in a situation like this.
No, it's not tied up. Kane won. It was 4-4.
Oh, it was 4-4 before voice?
That's why I picked 9 categories. So there would be like, so you have to like get some ties for it to be a tie.
So it looks like Kane beat Redman.
And he's right next to Cool G Rap, like where he's been most of his career. How funny is that?
Now, do we need to do a Kane and Cool G Rap?
I think we actually do. Because, hey, like people have always said this to me, like even though I've always preferred Cool G Rap, they're like, well, who finished the symphony, Coop?
No, I agree. I think that Kane has the best verse on the symphony.
I think that's arguable, but I get it. He has the best punchline on there for sure.
I mean, he got the best delivery, definitely, but I think when you talk
about
the
best flow on there.
Yeah, he got the best.
But I mean, G Marley gives the slice. I get nice, and I'm twice as whole refined. That's Vincent Price. No, I mean,
I guess we need to get Eminem into these as well.
Eminem is sitting at 31 right now on our list. We're gonna get to them and see like where we can put that in. So we're doing Kane and G Rap, and this will kind of fill out our 25 because we have Cole at 25 right now. And so unless you wanted to put DMX or Slick Rick or Pusha against Cole, I think that's our 25. But the Kane and G rap, so Impact.
That goes Kane, in my opinion.
As crazy as it seems, I think I believe you.
Yeah.
Live performance, that's Kane too.
Yeah.
Now here's where I tell you, Kane's been winning all of these lyrics and storytelling fights until now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he's better lyrically or storytelling wise than Cool G Rap.
No, that's Cool G Rap.
Classic albums and songs, I think that's Cool G Rap too, because I think Cool G Rap has 2 classics and Kane has 1.
Yep, that's Cool G Rap.
Longevity of albums and songs, I think that might be Kane though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Classic collaborations, I think that's Cool G Rap.
It is.
Career longevity quality is Cool G Rap.
That's Cool G Rap.
So Cool G Rap. Hold on, how many of these has he won? 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. Mike, it's The Voice again. It's 4-4 with The Voice again. Whose voice you taking? I'm taking Kane. You taking the gangster lisp or you taking the heavy baritone?
I'm taking Kane.
Wow.
Kane done moved up, huh?
You want to know why? Impact and live performance matter.
It does, and voice.
And voice.
Should we put him up against? You want to put him up against Jadakiss?
Live performance and voice, because it matters.
You want to put him up against Jadakiss? Because I don't know if it's a landslide because Jada don't have them classics like that.
No, this is what I'm saying. This is why I wanted to do this list, Mike, because we're finding out a lot about who we are.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Darren Harris with the super chat says, what's Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap's best album?
I just said Wanted Dead or Alive and Long Live the Kane.
Yep. Hands down.
Just
Andrew Green with the super chat says, Redman is a top-notch MC, but he lacks content and that knocks him down low on this list, content-wise. Not many people you name would fall under him. Yeah? I mean, yeah, I think that's always been the knock on Redman. It's just his lyrical content, and he doesn't have that versatility when it comes to that. Jay Short with the super chat says, what on Forest Hill is a classic in execution or concept? People trying to force a classic on J. Cole's resume. It's not even a top 20, not a top 75 all time. Wow. Not a top 75 album, huh? Okay,
I think that's arguable because there have been a lot of, like, people understand how deep hip hop is now. There have been there's been at least 300 great hip hop albums made, okay?
Yeah.
And so saying Forest Hill doesn't crack the top 75 doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a classic. It just might not be that all-time classic. It might be a classic for its times. There are plenty of those too. Now,
let me hear what Mad Max got to say before you get there. He says, Cole is my favorite rapper after Pop and Nas. He got me through high school. He's like the rap Bob Marley. But Kane over Cole. I have respect for Kane. Cole is the modern day Kane. When you look at Cole, L.A. Leakers freestyle, I could see that. I can see that. Okay, what are we gonna say, Coop? We're gonna put him up against Jada.
Yeah, it's just
Kane's pretty incredible, man. When you sit there and look at how short-lived his career and his prime was in that way, but he's still able to beat people with these criterias, that's pretty incredible.
I mean, you have to understand that when Blaze magazine did their top 50 MCs list, he was still 4th in like 1997 because you have to understand it's like, well, the brevity hadn't shown itself like that. So it literally went Rakim, KRS, Big, Kane. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like he's high in the hierarchy. And then I think it went LL, Cool G Rap, Slick Rick, Ice Cube, Jay-Z, like Chuck D.
They had Kane over LL back then?
Yes. Wow. They had Kane at 4th and LL at 5. And nobody said a word because we all knew what time it was.
This is what I'm going to say. And I want to say this. And again, I'm not going to go out here and,
Big had just died.
You're right. I'm not going to go out here and start any conspiracies or anything. But when you listen to Around the Way Girl and you listen to the Jingling Baby, which are, LL, some of LL's best records, and especially at that point, you could hear the Kane influence. And when LL went out there and said, Kane, was his favorite rapper, and not to mention that Marley Marl produced those records, you do have to give Kane some impact and credit. Like the fact that you impacted transitional moments in somebody like LL Cool J's career, that's a lot. That's a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I need a girl with the stenches in her hair, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair, a Fendi bag in the bag attitude. That is Kane. You know what I'm saying? Uncle L, Future of the Funk. That is Kane, man. It is.
What? Listen, what's that shit Jay said? Don't do it again. Fuck the flow, y'all jacking our slang.
I seen the same shit happen to Kane.
Kane.
3 cuts in your eyebrow trying to wild out.
Wild
Let's
out.
go. I don't know who he was talking about.
We know who we were talking about. We're talking about one of the people we about to do the lineup with right now. Impact, Kane or Kiss?
That's Kane.
That's Kane. Live performance once again.
That's Kane.
Kane. Lyrics, storytelling.
Huh. Neither one of them are big storytellers.
No.
And so if I had to go just straight lyrics, Jadakiss needs this round, but I don't know, man.
I don't think Jadakiss is lyrically better than Kane.
It's hard for me to say he is.
Because how about this? He doesn't, like, when Kane comes, oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. It's like, that might be the best rapper I've ever heard type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
And he, he's a guy who people put on par with Rakim when it comes to lyrics, right? He's his lyrical equal there. And, his sons, I guess, in this game would be the likes of Jay-Z, lyrically.
When he's in effect, Mike, how about this? When he's in effect, he's more frightening lyrically than Jay-Z to me. That's what I'm saying. Like, I consider Kane lyrically more inclined than Jay.
Who are
like when he's on? Oh man, when he's on, it's.
Who are Jadakiss's lyrical offsprings? You would say.
I don't think he has any. I think that's the game, though.
Well, that's Kane then.
There are a bunch of Kanes walking around.
Yeah.
It's 3 classic album songs.
Classic songs that may go to Jada, but I don't think Jada has a long-lived the Kane.
He doesn't, so that would be a tie because he's got the songs, but he don't got the albums because Long Live the Kane is still better than anything Kiss made.
Yeah.
Yeah. Longevity of album songs, I give that the shit.
I don't know.
That's Kane. No, I ain't thinking about that shit. That's Kane. Think about this. What set can Kiss perform from his solo records right now for like an hour? Like we just seen Kane like a couple years ago, or a year and a half ago now.
Do you think Kane could beat Jadakiss in the verses?
The live performance aspect of it makes it very problematic for people. I think Kiss has the records to beat him, but the live performance aspect, like you ain't about to embarrass Big Daddy Kane on stage. That's not Dipset. You feel me? Like there'll be none of that. He's not having that. Like think about this. Think about KRS-One's record. Now KRS-One, like Jadakiss definitely not beating no KRS-One in the verses. And Kane gave KRS a run for his money for like the first like 10 to 15 records.
You're right. I think Kane made some missteps in that, trying to do some freestyles and stuff. I don't think he should have done that. But again, like you said, he's going against KRS-One. And Jada's not beating KRS-One.
No, he's not. That's what I'm saying. Think about this. Like he gave KRS-One a run for his money, man. KRS got bangers from every era.
It's facts. Okay. Yeah. So that one's going Kane.
Mm-hmm. I'll give the collaborations to Kiss.
Of course.
The career longevity quality goes to Kiss.
Uh-huh.
Voice.
I'm giving that to Kiss.
Me too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So Kiss, yeah. So Kiss would beat Kane slightly by 1 because of the voice. Yeah.
Mad Max with the Super Chat says, but I will say DeCarlo's right to a degree because I'm Cole biased, so I prefer Cole over Kiss and Red, easy. And Prodigy, easy. And Jay Short, wildin'. Say, Forest Hill Drive has a diamond plaque. Uh, like, like you're saying, it's not classic. We're not forcing a classic. Yeah, I mean, I think Forest Hill Drive stands on its own. I mean,
That's great.
2014, it was the album. It's the best hip hop album of 2014, in my personal opinion.
It, it, it was. And
Mad Max also
it's a
says,
classic. It's just all classics aren't made the same, you know?
right. Mad Max with the super chat says because when you find because when Forest Hill Drive came out, I heard more people playing that than To Pimp a Butterfly. And Forest Hill Drive came out in the fall of 2014. That album made Cole a superstar. I thought that album came out in December of 2014. Well, that's the way. Yeah, whatever. Jay Shore with the super chat says Marley Marl produced Kane, then produced LL. LL's bars starting to sound like Kane. Interesting. Listen, I'm not out here trying to spread no theories. I'm just saying. Go ahead, Coop.
Well, I think we have a valid top 25. So right after Cole would be Pusha T, DMX, and Slick Rick. Now, do you think any of those guys legitimately challenge Cole for that 25th spot?
Let's run Pusha T. And then we'll run DMX. Just to see.
Okay. Impact.
That's Cole. Yeah.
Live performance.
That's Cole.
Lyrics and storytelling.
I wish Pusha told more stories. Lyrically, I like Pusha more, but I think that someone could say that Pusha's subject matter is one-dimensional. And, you know, he only talks about a few things where Cole talks about everything.
Okay, so Cole.
Yep.
Classic albums and songs. I actually think that's Pusha T.
That may be Pusha T. I think that's one of the strongest things he had in his belt.
He's got classic group stuff, classic solo stuff, and he's got classic songs everywhere too.
He has a grinding out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing grinding the other day. Longevity of albums / songs. Speaking of grinding,
that
which
may
is
be
literally
Pusha.
over 2 decades old now. Yeah, that's Pusha T. Classic collaborations.
That's Pusha T, actually.
It is. Career longevity quality.
Damn, that's Pusha T too.
Yep. So here's what I tell you. It's tied and we're down to the voice again. See why I picked 9 and put the voice last? Because the voice matters. And I think Cole has a better rap voice than Pusha T.
I think he does too.
And so I think we're fair right there.
Let's do DMX and Cole. Or should we do DMX and Push? Or you just want to
No, because I think DMX is somebody that might have a Kane type of rise.
Okay.
Potentially. He's the person that I kind of want to put in here.
I mean, it's very Kane-ish when you talk about the short, window of timing.
Well, no, what I mean, he's about to win the same stuff that Kane wins, which is impact, live performance, and voice over most people. So, so let's go. So, what is he? We're putting him up at 25 against Cole. So impact. Well, that's DMX.
That's a big one to win.
Right. Think about this. No, DMX's impact is greater than Cole's, and you know it. If I have to explain it to you, I shouldn't have to.
No, you don't have to explain that. He changed everything.
He changed everything.
When he stepped in the door,
he was running around happy.
Everything.
He
changed the way Jay-Z was doing things. Like, he changed everything. Yeah.
How about this? I believe people like Scarface thrived in that rap climate because DMX came along. So guys who made music like him got more of a look than they were getting previously.
We just had a conversation Friday talking about how him jumping in the door doing what he did changed everything for the Locks. Like, without him doing what he did, without him doing what he did, I don't know if the Locks jumped ship from Bad Boy in that way.
Probably not. So live performance. That's DMX again.
Yeah.
Lyrics / storytelling. Ooh, fascinating. Because I don't think J. Cole's a better storyteller than DMX.
No, I think DMX is the better storyteller, but I think that J. Cole's the better lyricist.
So that's a tie. So it's 2X and a tie. Classic albums / songs, that's DMX too. Longevity of albums and songs, well, that's DMX too. Classic collaborations, it's DMX.
It actually is.
Career longevity quality, now that's Cole.
Yeah.
You understand Cole hasn't won anything but career longevity quality and lyrics right now. So he's got a tie and a 1. That's what I mean about DMX moving off, because he's not winning the voice battle either. So DMX is jumping over everybody right now.
All right. We're going to have to put DMX
Because, I mean, I hate to say it like this. DMX kind of just whacked Cole on our criteria a little bit. Like,
well, now, see, now people are going to say that, you know what I'm saying, we're hating on Cole. It's nothing like that.
No, we're not. We just went through the criteria. Like you don't tell me that J. Cole's impact is greater than DMX's or that he's a better live performer or has a better voice. Well, that's 3. Well, he's not a better storyteller, and he doesn't have... How about this? You want a Patreon Forest Hills Drive against It's Dark and Hell is Hot and see... You get what I'm saying? Like, no. We're not playing those games about the classic albums or the songs. Yeah. We're not playing those games.
And does anyone think that J. Cole could beat DMX in the verses? 20 songs deep. If we want to talk about songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, the caller with the super chat says DMX over a lot of these guys. Why is he so low? Okay, well, we about to see. He about to move on up.
Right. So I think we need to spend... I'm about to say, I think we maybe need to spend the rest of our time getting into DMX and then doing our Skyzoo review.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think DMX may move up to where Kane is, maybe ahead. Because keep in mind, we got Jadakiss at 21, and that's why I wanted to do the DMX thing. Right.
Okay.
Right.
Who's
so
next?
DMX and Redman. So
yeah. Okay. Impact. DMX.
Impact DMX. Yeah.
Live performances DMX.
Yeah. Lyrics / storytelling. Well, I think that's a tie because the lyrics go to Redman, but the storytelling goes to X, right?
Yep.
Hold on. So look at X. Classic album / songs. This is fascinating. Right.
The songs are definitely going DMX this way.
Right, but that four album run by Redman though.
Redman has the albums, yes.
So this is another tie. Longevity of albums and songs, I think that's DMX.
I think DMX's music is aged better, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think his 2 albums that are considered to be classics by a lot of people are great, by a lot of people have held longer. Like, and It's Dark and Hell is Hot is one of the few albums that I can say it's like, no, that's better than Muddy Waters. And I can't say that about a lot of rap albums.
Dame252 says, ear test, Cole is a better rapper than DMX.
No, that ain't. I don't know what ear test you're fucking hearing. I ain't heard J. Cole make "Get at Me, Dog" or "Stop Being Greedy." What ear test are you having, fam?
Or that's even how's
when people be having this ear test, like what ear test is that?
Even how's it going down? I'm politicking with this chicken, wondering if I'm a creeper. Little hood rat bitch from 25th named Tamika coming through. Like, dude, you know, get my
what
bar.
These bitches want?
Like he could flow too. Like he could do everything. Yeah, you know.
I don't know that.
Stop being greedy.
I don't know what ear test you hearing, fam.
Stop being greedy?
No, like I said, I don't know what ear test you hearing. I'm hearing somebody can rap his ass off. You know what I'm saying? Have you heard Damien? Have you heard Blackout? What's the song? Ain't No Love for Me with Drag On? The Omen? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know about what dude you talking about? Some ear test. The ear test is frightening when that nigga hit the mic. Like, his ear test is one of the best ear tests.
His verses
on one of the few people that you'll hear and be like, who the fuck is that?
Right, like his verse on Murdergram, or you know what I'm saying?
I was thinking the 4 3 2 1 verse. Like, I'm like, who is that?
Or the verse on Money, Power, Respect. The verse on
24 Hours to Live.
Yeah, niggas done started something.
Which brings us to classic collaborations, but I think we just answered our question.
This is the thing about DMX and his collaborations. He changes the color of his collaborations. Like, Money Cash Hoes is not Money Cash Hoes without DMX. You remember where they did that version where they had Beans and Bleak on there instead of X?
Work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Forgettable. Yeah.
It's not going to work. Career longevity quality. I think that's Cole.
Yeah, no, we're on somebody else now. We're on Redman.
Oh yeah. We're on red. That's my bad. Career longevity quality. Well, that's red too.
Yeah, it is.
In voice,
That's DMX.
X just won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against Redman with 2 ties. So Redman only won 2 categories against X. That's what I mean
We're
about
moving
like
X
DMX
up.
is the guy I wanted to highlight, right?
Jay Short with the super chat says DMX was hot. No one cared. Redman, Method Man, LL, or Cannabis was on 4321 remix until they heard X's verse first, and no one told their story better than X. That's real. That's why I'm so high on this Dark and Hell is Hot as a debut album. I don't think that there's many MCs, especially on a mainstream level, that gave you their life in their debut album to the level that DMX did.
We're actually honest with you.
Yeah, and
There was some
still
honesty to the album.
still gave you hits. Still showed you everything that they could do as an artist and told this story at the same time. Like, it's a tour de force of a debut album. Like, it's different than Doggy Style and Get Rich or Die Trying like that, because those records are, they have their moments, but those are more so party records. X was able to do all of that with you. He was able to party with you. He was able to level with you. He was able to pray with you on that album. Like, it's crazy.
Now, Mike, I would submit to you, you beat me barely on our Patreon matchup with Reasonable Doubt versus the Infamous, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
I think It's Dark and Hell is Hot is in that territory of albums. What say you about maybe us deciding sometime about picking which one of those albums? Because like for me, Reasonable Doubt and the Infamous are borderline top 10 rap albums, but I feel the same way about It's Dark and Hell is Hot. What do you think about doing that against A Moment of Truth, or you know what I'm saying? Like some of those albums that maybe don't crack the top 10, but maybe you're like really, really high up.
I'm with that. I think we should do that. DeCarlo with the super chat says DMX is what 50 Cent would be had he had another classic album and told fewer stories. I'm gonna say this. I think that DMX, if and obviously he had his struggles. If we're talking about DMX just clear, focused on a 10-year run, yeah, it does look like what 50 Cent did.
It looked better than what 50 did. Yeah. I mean, X's 2 best albums are better than 52 best albums.
50 is a focused version of DMX, yes.
That's fair. I can see that.
Yeah.
There's some nuances to that, but I get the overall.
You know what I mean? The overall thing,
Yeah. So we're at DMX and Cool G rap.
Oh, I like this one.
Me too.
I like this one.
Impact. Ooh, right.
I think I might have to go Cool G rap for the pioneering side of it. Now, obviously, DMX was game changing, but the game kind of changed right back, but Cool G rap's impact is more infinite because it was a foundational impact. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I would go Cool G rap in that.
Live performances, X.
DMX, yes.
Lyrics and storytelling. Do we have a tie, maybe?
I think lyrically, Cool G rap's better, but from a storytelling aspect, Cool G rap may still be a better storyteller than X, right?
I'm glad that you said that, because I actually think that this is one of the few guys that's probably a better storyteller than X, but one of the few guys, because I think G rap is still a top 10 storyteller, and I think DMX might be too, but I would still have G slightly ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you on that. Classic albums/songs, that's X.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, it is.
The longevity of albums and songs is X too, you would say?
Yeah.
Classic collaboration.
I still hear Rough Riders Anthem, you know what I mean? I still hear Party Up.
Right. Classic collabs.
That might be X too.
Career longevity quality.
That's G rap.
Voice.
That's X.
X just beat G rap too. He got 1, 2, 3, 4. He just won with the 5th one. He just won with the voice again. That's why I put the voice last. It matters because it was 4-4, and then it went to X for the voice.
Our man with the super chat says, "Peace. Where is Doom? His catalog is just as strong. His impact is super. Westside Gunn, Earl, Tyler, Joey have all been influenced by Doom." This is true. We'll put Doom up next show and see how the criteria works with that. Because we got people like Doom. Now Cole is outside of the top 25. You got Cole. You got Slick Rick out there. You got Eminem out there. And I want to see how you know what I'm saying, those things kind of jive with it too. And this is an ongoing thing because we want to make sure we get this as right as possible because some of these other lists out here are so bogus. Go ahead.
Right. DMX and Kane is where we're at now because DMX done jumped all the way from 27 all the way up to 23.
Wow. I love it. I love it.
No, he's like that.
Yeah.
So the X and Kane, Impact, that's Kane.
Kane.
Because live performance.
That's Kane. That's Kane.
Live performance.
That's Kane. That's no slight to X. That's Kane though.
Still Kane. Lyrics/storytelling, is that a tie?
I think
I would give the lyrics to Kane, but the storytelling
to X. Yep.
Classic album/songs, X.
Yep.
Longevity of album songs, is that Kane? Or is that X?
I don't know, man. I think
that might be X.
That might be X, man.
Because he has so much, like Kane has some records in rotation. X got a lot of shit in rotation.
Because Money Cash Hoes, once again, that even counts for him. And that's like a feature, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I think that might
brings
be
us
X.
to classic collaborations.
That's X.
Career longevity, quality.
They both had short careers. I would give that one to Kane because we at least got MVP moments. You know what I mean? From Kane.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is what I'm fascinated by. Voice.
It's real fascinating. I'm going to have to ponder on this. We might have to do a poll on this one.
Right.
This is...
Who's got a better rap voice, DMX or
Let me
Big
do
Daddy
this.
Kane? Don't you think that's fascinating?
Let me do this. I'm going to give that to Kane because he sustained his voice for longer.
Ooh, you want to know what? His voice... No, we just heard him. You're right.
I got to give that one to Kane for that reason and that reason alone.
Okay, so let's see. 1, 2.
That's the tiebreaker, I mean.
Nope. What we have is Kane 1, 2, 3, 4. X1, 1, 2, 3 with a tie. So, yep, Kane got him.
Okay.
And so that's where we have DMX. So DMX would be at 23.
But let me tell you this. DMX sustains what he was in the era that we're talking about.
Top 10.
Yeah, he's top 10-ish.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we get more, we don't even need more Dark and Hell is Hots. If we get more Flesh of My Fleshes.
Yeah, if we get 2 more of those, maybe.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So right now, the way that our top 25 looks is that Redman is our 25th guy.
I like that. Okay, so let's go through I'll put it on the screen even though we had to make some adjustments. So we got Redman at 25.
G-Rap at 24.
Okay, that stayed.
DMX at 23.
Okay, he moved
Kane
up.
at 22. Kiss at 21. Thought at 20. Prodigy at 19. Method Man at 18. Kendrick at 17. Chuck D at 16. Calm at 15. Wayne at 14. Ray at 13. Ghost at 12. Ye at 11. Face at 10. LL at 9. Snoop at 8. Cube at 7. KRS at 6. Big at 5. Pac at 4. Rakim at 3. Jay-Z at 2. Nas at 1. I still want to do that whole Jay-Z, Rakim, Tupac, Biggie, KRS 1 thing, only because you did that Ye shit.
I mean, Ye throws a lot of things off.
No, I just think that when you started talking about Ye in relationship to Jay, though, it made me think it's like, well, why is he ahead of Rakim and Tupac and Biggie? And in the criteria-wise, does he really beat them? Just asking questions.
Do you think, just for fun, you want to put Eminem up against Pusha T or J. Cole real quick? Just for the people.
I was actually about to say, you want to know what I really wanted to do, Mike? Since people think he's so great, I wanted to put him up against the top 5 MC.
Who, M?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not
because if it's like that, let me show you what it's like.
Okay, who you want to put him up against?
You can take your pick. There's Nas, Jay-Z, Rakim, Tupac, or Big. Take your pick.
What about KRS-One?
That's cool. We can do Chris.
Because I know that, a lot of these others, people might feel like it's more of a favoritism thing. When you look at Pac and Big because no one can really compare to a lot of them in many people's
That's
eyes.
fine.
So let's go KRS.
So Impact. Right.
That's KRS.
So KRS-One has invented whole bar styles that people. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. He's invented whole bar styles.
I mean, not to mention the whole conscious movement. I mean, we could give PE some credit to that. That was more so militant. Well, you want to talk about that whole Stop the Violence movement that Boogie Down Productions moved into? Yeah, that became a whole lane. So, yeah, that's KRS.
Live performance.
KRS-One.
Lyrics / storytelling.
Now, some would say, no, let me play devil's advocate here because lyrics is really what Eminem is known for, right? I think that for me, I'm going to go KRS when it comes lyrics because of lyrical content. In relation to the two, I do think that a lot of the the wordiness of M's delivery, and he sets a lot of records for how many words are in a stanza and things of that nature. I still think that KRS's lyrical content stands above that. And when it comes to the storytelling, we could say we got Stan there, right? You got you got 97 Bonnie and Clyde, which I think is incredible storytelling. But then you got Love's Gonna Get You on the other side. I don't know. I think that Eminem has some really great storytelling abilities in his arsenal. I mean, would you argue KRS better storyteller than Eminem?
I mean, yeah.
Based on what stories, though?
I mean, Love's Gonna Get You is, first of all, better than any story Eminem's ever told. But I mean, a lot of stuff that KRS does is like story and conceptual. Like, oh yeah, it's kind of a story. It's just kind of like a Black history story. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I think 97
I'm
Bonnie
a blunt
and
getting
Clyde.
smoked is a story. You know what I'm saying?
I think brain damage storytelling that Eminem did on there.
You want to give it a tie
Philip
just to
Bailey.
be fair? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
We'll tie it just to be fair.
Not Philip Bailey. I'm talking about Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm talking about D'Angelo Bailey. His storytelling. I will give him that. His storytelling game is high.
I said we can tie it to be fair. So lyrics go to KRS, storytelling to M.
Okay.
Classic album songs.
That's gonna go KRS.
Longevity of album songs.
That's going KRS too.
Classic collaborations.
Huh. That could go Eminem.
That could go M.
Yeah.
I'm actually think that might be him.
Yeah, that's
career longevity quality.
Well, that goes KRS.
Voice.
That goes KRS.
Do you know how many of these Eminem won? He won classic collaboration and he won lyrics. That's what I'm saying. So I just want people to understand why he's not in our top 10. Yeah. We put him against the guy who's 6th on the list and he got blown out.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I give X extra credit because he made a classic without a lot of help from those classic 90s New York artists or producers. Right. No Nas, no Jay, no Primo, no Big, no Havoc, etc. He made his own lane outside of classic New York sound. And you know what happened? I mean, because Jay Short, he's from the West Coast. People from other regions that really weren't fucking with New York MCs, at least here in the South, they fucked with X. Because X was kind of his own thing.
I got another one. So let's slide down the scale a little bit. Let's put Eminem up against Method Man.
Okay.
He's at 18 right now. What say you? You cool with that?
I'm cool with that.
Okay. Impact.
That could go Eminem.
Okay. I can see that. Live performance.
That's Method Man.
Lyrics / storytelling. I'm cool with that being a tie again because I think Method's a better lyricist. But I think M's a better storyteller.
I think a lot of people
would a better lyricist.
I think a lot of people would tell you that Eminem's a better lyricist too, even though I disagree with that because I can't pull out a shadow boxing verse from Eminem, and I just can't. But let's give Eminem that one because the Lyrical Miracle crowd would definitely say that's
classic albums / songs. I tell you that's a tie because I'd actually give Eminem the nod, but I give Meth the nod on the songs.
I'm with that.
Longevity of albums / songs. I think that's Meth.
I'm with that.
Classic collaborations. That's meth.
That's definitely method, man.
Career longevity quality. That's meth. Mike, voice.
Yeah, that's definitely meth. So what does that look like?
That looks like Eminem won 2 and got a tie against our 18th ranked MC.
KC1 with the super chat says, how would you rate Tupac without All Eyes on Me? We can't do that. We got All Eyes on Me.
What do you mean? What kind of shit is that? What do you mean? How will we rate Tupac without All Eyes on Me? Well, how will we rate Big without Life After Death?
DeCarlo with the super chat says, lyrical content is introduced.
How will we rate Rockin' without Let the Rhythm Hit Him? What kind of shit is that?
DeCarlo says, lyrical content is introducing another category. Mike, stop it. I'm sorry. My wife says, lyrics go to Eminem. Are we talking about we might be behind. I think we're talking about the KRS one.
He got blown out by KRS. It wouldn't have mattered even if we would have gave him the lyrics.
We can give him lyrics against everybody, I guess. T Nitty with the super chat says, how is Wayne better than Doom? Gas Face to 2019.
How? Are you?
Don't get cool
what?
started.
Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that.
We're going to get Doom in the mix, too.
We're going to get Doom in the mix. Matter of fact, we're going to pull up and put Doom up against Wayne next week.
Do you want to put Wayne and Eminem against each other real quick?
Cool with that.
Since people got problems with Wayne?
Yeah. Wayne's at 14.
Okay.
And Impact.
Impact's Wayne. He influenced the whole generation.
And he's one of the few people that actually can say that viably, like over almost anybody. That's me. Live performance.
Huh.
I'm cool with calling that a tie.
No, I get this. Eminem's a really great performer.
No, I've seen Wayne live. Wayne is great too.
Wayne is too.
Yeah, that's why
you just don't know you just don't know which Wayne you're gonna get. Let's just say, if you go to a show, you got just based off of ability. I mean, just we're not talking about the songs.
Well, I mean, if you're going to an Eminem show, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you're just going to see the best performer, which ticket are you going to purchase first? It's same price, same location. You know what I mean? Like, whose show do you want to go see? They're both on two opposite sides of town.
I'm still taking Wayne because you also have to understand too. Wayne has the type of catalog that when he pulls up in your city, like, I don't know, in Atlanta, people like T.I. walk out because of work they've done with them. You get what I'm saying? So it's a little different.
Let's take the catalog
Wayne
out
can pull up in every damn city like that.
Let's take the catalog out of it. We're just talking about straight up performance.
The catalog and what you're performing is part of your performance. How can we do that, Mike?
Okay, we're going Wayne.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, I'm just trying not to be biased.
No, I mean, I know
people
think
I
hate. I'm cool with it being a tie, but
we'll make that a tie. Let's make that a tie. We'll make that a tie.
Yeah, lyric storytelling, we'll give that the M, right?
Yeah.
Now, classic albums and songs, well, that's Wheezy F Baby.
Yeah, that's going Wayne.
On both sides, heavily.
Yeah, we're talking mixtapes and all that stuff too, because we said that we were counting those things.
I'm gonna say it every time. Every time I come around your city,
bling bling.
Pinky ring worth about 50. Pinky ring worth about 50.
Uh-huh.
Every time I buy a new ride.
Bling bling. Right. We did a whole show on the Kanye thing, guys. Y'all need to go check out the show from like a week ago. We're not going to go into some 3 hour.
I will not be put through that.
Yeah, we're not going to go through another 3 hour tangent on why Kanye's placed where he is. So the video's up there. It's like 3 hours when we were talking about that. Go check it out.
Won't be doing that again. Oh my God, it's so taxing to talk about it.
We got stuff to do. We got to get up out of here in a second.
You know how emotionally draining it is to talk about him? Does he know?
Okay. So
longevity of album songs. That's
Wayne
again.
That's Wayne.
Every time I come around your city. Classic collaborations. Once again.
That's Wayne.
Career longevity quality, because he was here before him too.
He was here before him and is here after him.
Voice.
Huh. I'm giving that to Wayne.
Look, so Wayne's at 14. And much like with KRS, you know how he only won one with KRS and a tie? Same thing with Wayne at 14. He got one for lyrics and storytelling, and he got a tie for live performance. Everything else went Wayne's way. So Wayne is who we say he is. Wayne's at 14. That's what I mean. Like, you can put him up against all these guys. I'm not trying to keep him out of here. It's like when you actually put him up against a real measuring stick, Mike.
DeCarlo
He
with the
doesn't
super
crack
chat
it.
says, shaking my head. Y'all not being fair to M. M had longevity over a lot of guys. Y'all gave the
Not
nod
Wayne,
to, as
not
well as
KRS.
songs. He has songs in rotation. Y'all not even thinking about it. What songs in rotation, DeCarlo?
What's the
And you don't have to super chat to telling me. Like everybody who feels
nothing
like,
up in the chat right
that
now? I'd
is
love to see this.
anybody who feels like that and feel like that's a legitimate statement, give us the songs. And we could name some of the Wayne songs that are in current rotation. Um, let's talk about this Skyzoo album, man. Before we get up out of here, I know we're already like 2.5 hours in. Our show gets so lengthy so quick. It don't feel like we've been here 2.5 hours, man. 36
It doesn't.
Chambers 36 Chambers with the super chat says, how did y'all feel about that Skyzoo? He deserves his flowers, and this new project is fire. Panthers and Powder, Eminent Domain, Bodies, and Views from the Valley are stellar. Strong early 2023 work. Yeah, it's by far the best work of 2023 so far.
You know what I think we need to do
Go ahead.
on Friday? I think specifically about Jay-Z and Eminem, we should just line them up and just start at the top and start working them down the line.
Okay.
Like, since people are like, well, you're comparing them against people, how about this? How about we just gonna compare them against everybody? We see how it holds up. But you're not beating KRS-One and Method Man and Lil Wayne. Like, man, this Nas, Rakim, Tupac, Big, like, you better stop playing with me. But since you want to play, since you want to fuck around, find out. If you want to fuck around and find out.
Skyzoo dropped a stellar effort Friday. It's called The Mind of a Saint. And, it was a 10-track album. And for the people who watch Snowfall, and you know what? I watched a couple of episodes of Snowfall. I haven't really gotten to the series like I need to. But I understand the theme. I understand the environment and what it's about, right? And so, first of all, shout out to Skyzoo for the quality album. The production's on point. The lyricism's on point. But the creative writing is something that I wish we could see a lot more of in hip hop just in general, and I don't want to take this as an opportunity to, be Mike D on the set, but Jeezy dropped the album called Snowfall last year. That was actually named after the show itself, whereas he kind of took the traditional approach and just, basically made songs with the title of something that people were familiar with. You have somebody like Skyzoo and a writer and as an MC and as a creative that took a concept and took that like to the next level where you take on characters of this show and you make a full-length album from that perspective. As a Brooklyn MC taking on that West Coast perspective, I mean, I'm pretty sure you watched the show, right? You watch the show and you're able to take on those themes damn near as if you're writing a soundtrack for a show after the fact. I think that in itself was dope as hell, not to mention that the music in itself is dope. And I wish that we could see a lot more of that creative style of writing in hip hop.
I agree with most of your points and the sentiments that you made about the project. This is one of those albums that when I hear it, it disturbs me because I already know that it's probably not going to get the recognition or publicity or notoriety it deserved. I really found myself listening to this album and being very, very impressed with it on a few levels, a lot of which you already highlighted. And I say to myself, well, we just kind of pick our heroes to a degree, and that's why we kind of want people involved with our list and want to pull up a ranking and stuff. Because as much as it seems like a personal list, as we keep putting people through this matrix, it ain't seeming that personal, is it? When I look at somebody like a Skyzoo and he makes a wonderful project like this, I ask myself a couple questions like, A, is this the best thing he's ever made? And B, what has kept somebody like him, who is obviously conceptually brilliant? Because all the beautiful things is about the gentrification of Brooklyn, too. So he knows how to pull off a concept album because this is back-to-back concept albums, technically.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so he's lyrically proficient. You know what I'm saying? He's actually underrated as a hook writer. His production is usually stellar and underrated. Why isn't he more renowned than a bigger star? Would be my question to you, because this album, much like all the brilliant things, is brilliant for the most part.
I think to answer your question, and I don't know the full answer because I think there's two things. One, he's an independent artist. That's a big one. And I think number two, for the listener that hasn't already got into him, I think that it's that shadow of that 97 Hove sound that may be haunting him in that way.
See, this isn't even that to me. Can I tell you something? Like, when I hear Skyzoo, I hear somebody who really enjoyed like De La and Tribe's production choices, and he chooses that way. But the talk is a little bit grittier and more like, Brooklyn B-boy, New York state of mind-ish. And that's what I mean is that, like, well, when you listen to the things that I said, it's like, well, I say to myself, it's like, well, why isn't he bigger? Why doesn't his shit pop more? Because he does a lot of the things that as a hip-hop fan, you'd like your guys to do, like his beat selection. If you are a fan of like 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, like beat-wise hip-hop, like, he's one of the best, actually, people at it, like selecting a beat that kind of like evokes that imagery without sounding dated. The concepts are there, the lyrics are there, the songs are there. There's not any like big hit record on here that sometimes it's hard to do on a concept album.
People are saying RJ Payne did it already. Yeah, shout out to RJ Payne. He makes, great concept albums as well. But I feel like, man, if Joey Badass would have made this same effort, people would be ranting and raving about it like it's album of the year, as this should be heralded as. Because right now, this, I'm just going to say this. This is the album to beat in 2023 right now. I know we're only like, 2-3 weeks in. But if we want to talk about an album to beat in 2023, here's the mark right here.
So this is the measuring stick is what you're saying?
It is. This is the album to beat right now.
So with that measuring stick being stated, and, I know we just, about a month and a half, if not less, of doing our year in reviews. And so I think we want to, how about this? My goal for us is to get better at this every year, and I'm sure yours is too. And so the less that we have to like go back and reframe our ratings, I think we're finally in a place where we've got a good grasp on things. Because, people understand, like, a lot of what we're doing, Mike, like we've been learning and putting our work and our time in on the fly week to week to give it to the people. And I think we've kind of got our legs underneath us. How are we rating this album to start this year?
That's a good question. Let me read some of these super chats, and I have some ideas, but right now we're just gonna have to measure it up to last year's rating system, really.
Okay.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, "Hope this isn't like Currency last year where he dropped a great project and got overshadowed later. Don't want Skyzoo to get lost at the end of the year due to the late year, recency bias. Hope this ages well." I think so too. I mean, I hope so too, and I think it will actually.
So here's what I'll submit to you. How about this? We gave Vince Staples a 4.2 for Ramona Park. Do you think this is better than Ramona Park?
I do. I think this is better than Ramona Park.
I think you might be right, but I don't think it's by a lot, though.
Yeah.
So I would tell you that I would give this album a 4.3 if we're going based off of, you know what I'm saying?
Based off of last year? What were the 4.3s at? Like, what was JID's?
Yeah, hold on. I'm pulling it up right now.
DeCarlo, he's bringing receipts. DeCarlo says, "Lose Yourself. My Name Is. The Real Slim Shady. Superman. Stan are all in rotation." And y'all talking about bling bling. Nobody plays bling bling. I promise you. Like, are you really heralding yourself on My Name Is and The Real Slim Shady?
First of all, nobody's playing those records. We're from the South, and I'll tell you what, Cash Money is an army. Bling bling. Back that ass up. Ha. Number One Stunner. The block. No. Those records still get played down here, fam. So
but no, but again,
That's the
man,
old stuff.
that's
I'm
the
just bringing up
old
the
stuff.
Cash Money stuff to let you know how long he been in the
Wayne
game.
doesn't even need those records.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't even want me to start like just bringing out like the cannons. Like how about this? Like
we want to bring out the Amelies.
What M got for 6 foot, 7 foot,
Yeah.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot? Like Wayne going ballistic on there. What he got for She Will with Drake on the hook? You know what I'm saying? Like we can go to some of the later stuff.
Rich
you
as
don't
fuck.
You don't want to do that Carter 2, that Carter 3 shit.
Nah,
what
Rich
about Go DJ?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Rich as fuck still gets played. Never talk to the cops. I don't speak pig.
They still playing Duffel Bag Boy
I turn a
down here.
penny
He just
to a
on the hook,
motherfucking
okay?
Jan Jackson. No, listen. Nobody wants to hear the real Slim Shady and even Superman over Rich as fuck. Let's be real.
So this is what I'll tell you. See, Mike, this is what I mean about how we tightened up last year. We gave the Black Thought a 4.3. We gave the Freddie a 4.5. Black Star got a 4.2. Do you think this is better than the Black Star?
It's not. How did we give Ramona Park? What did we give Ramona Park then?
That's my fault. I was looking at the wrong list. I wasn't looking at us updating the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I do.
How about this? We gave West Side Gun a 4. Do you think this is better than the West Side?
I do.
Okay. So we gave the what's something we gave? We gave the Joey. We gave the Che Noir 4.1.
I think this is in that territory, honestly.
Okay. So I think a fair way to start this year is to give this a 4.1, maybe 4.2.
Okay.
You don't think it's better than the Black Star, so I would say 4.1 is where we should probably rate this to start the year then. If we're being consistent and kind of like building out a formula that's proper.
I'm going to let some time pass before I say anything about comparing it to the Black Star, but it's very impressive. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, I enjoyed the beats on here more than I enjoyed the beats on the Black Star album. That's why I'm willing to say kind of like
about end-to-end, lyricism, hook writing, production, concept, it's not a crazy thought to think that it's better. You know what I mean? It's just
if we're giving Black Star a 4.2 and giving it a 4.1, let's see how it holds and if it doesn't go up or down. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think that's a good place for it because I think it's food for thought-ish to me and its consistency and in its concept.
Exactly. Esquire with the super chat says, I have X over Cole overall, but they're not tied lyrically. Cole is more of a proven storyteller over time, but if you disagree, the gap between them, bar for bar, is much smaller than the storytelling gap. Okay. Esquire also says, Cole has 16 years of heat as a storyteller, dating back to the come up. Rags to Riches, I Got It, Two-Face, Too Deep for the intro, Wet Dreams, Runaway Killer. Yeah, you know what? I'll give him that. You know, and I could see that from a longevity standpoint.
Still not enough. It's not enough. You're talking about one category. That's not enough to fade X, but I hear you.
But I mean, that one category, if we did give that to Cole, he still didn't beat him, right?
Okay, so let's go again to Cole and X. Impact, X, right? Live performance, X.
Yeah.
Lyric storytelling, let's just give that to Cole all the way. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's just give that to Cole all the way. Classic album songs, well, that's X. Longevity of album songs, X. Classic collaborations, X. Career longevity quality, Cole. Voice, X. He's winning 2. That's what I'm saying. It's not even like he won 2 now instead of winning 1.5. Are you happy?
Jay Short with the super chat says, if you guys talk about it, people will recognize there are people who are watching you guys who don't follow the channel. You guys got the industry shook.
Oh yeah, all the time. They literally won't hit click like and subscribe because that would mean they would be down with our movement. And you know,
and for the people who are down with
would mean a lot of y'all's demise. So it's like I get it.
And for the people who are down with the movement, click subscribe, and the bell icon so you know when we're going on live. Better Code with the super chat says it's lyrically better than Ramona, but not musically. Okay.
That's why I thought Ramona was good. We ended up giving Ramona a 4, but musically I felt it was comparable to Ramona. Like Fam said.
Uncle Fran with the super chat says, Coop, your description about Skyzoo is on point. His favorite rappers are Jay-Z and Mos Def.
I can see that. Even when he made the Maumi told me comment, I was like, oh yeah, that's that Brooklyn in him.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says, Eminem songs are in heavy rotation on old school hip hop and R&B stations. They also play Timberlake, Bruno, Christina Aguilera, and Jay-Z / Linkin Park Encore remix consistently. But I digress. Well, you know what? Again, those quote unquote old school hip hop and R&B stations again are catalog money grabs. Hip hop stations that were actually around during the era when Eminem was putting out that music as new music were not playing those songs, and that's just the god honest truth. They're going back retroactively and playing those records. The only record that I actually heard on urban radio, and maybe that's just Atlanta, I'm not sure, or at least in the Southeast, because I was all around the Southeast in the 2000s. I heard them play the Real Slim Shady for a bit, but that was about it. Hi, My Name Is was not being played on any urban radio station. The only other record that he was a part of that was played on urban radio was Forgot About Dre. But other than that,
I was about to say, I heard The Way I Am on radio in Greensboro and Forgot About Dre a ton.
Okay.
A ton.
Yeah, but after
The Way I Am and Forgot About Dre. Yeah.
After the promotion was over, I mean, I was hearing his records mostly on CHR stations, which is contemporary hit radio stations. It wasn't on hip hop urban stations.
Right. No. The hip hop stations in Greensboro played The Way I Am and Forgot About Dre. I do remember that though.
And even when I worked in radio,
but also too, Mike. I mean, I'll be 42 this year. That's when I was like 19.
Yeah, 20. And even when I worked in radio, yeah, Superman did get some play too. Even when I worked in radio,
dope. Superman's dope, Mike.
It is dope. I like Superman.
I like Superman.
But yeah, when I was in radio from like what 2001 to 03 or whatever, I remember those set sheets, and and that's supposed to be his prime. Now when 50 came, all of that nigga shit was in rotation. And that's just real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
look,
all of his shit was in rotation.
Like 50 man, like In the Club was playing.
Yeah.
21 Questions was playing.
Wankster was playing.
P.I.M.P. was playing.
Man. Even the record that he had with the Biggie on there, that B.I.G. my nigga, that was in rotation.
Yeah. He had all types of stuff in rotation.
Everything. So yeah, it's not I guess people, I know young folks don't listen to the radio anyway, but if young people do decide to tap into these old school hip hop stations, it's not really an indication of what was being played back then. It's
really not, because I tell you what, this is what I mean, is it's like, well, how often do you hear Me, Myself, and I or Award Tour on those stations? Like even the Fun Loving, like, you get what I'm saying? Exactly. It's like they don't be playing that shit.
You don't.
It's like, how often do you hear What They Do by The Roots on there?
Exactly.
Or how often do they play Microphone Fiend by Rakim? Or how often do they play South Bronx? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How often do they play Mona Lisa? It's like, I don't know about those stations.
And honestly,
I'm wanting to hear No the Ledge on the hip hop station. Sometimes Sip the Juice. I got enough to go around. I be wanting to hear that like on a real hip hop radio station. So it's like when I don't get that, I'd be like, oh, y'all corny too.
And you know what? And I'm gonna be balanced too. Like Juicy, when it came out, it was getting played, but they moved on to the next Biggie song. Like, you know what I mean? Like One More Chance was the record that they couldn't stop playing, and they kept moving on to his shit as he kept making more stuff. They didn't play Juicy as much then as they do now. I'll put it like that.
They didn't. It's just a fact.
Yeah, actually, because both of these records were out at the same time, Flavor in Your Ear got more play than Juicy, and that's just
Flavor.
The truth.
Flavor in Your Ear is a better record than Juicy. Actually.
It is. Yeah,
it is.
That's why when the super chat says, I literally said that I could have X over Cole overall. Cole has a larger volume of fire stories. Meant to say bar for bar, the gap is just much larger than the storytelling gap.
Oh, my bad, Esquire. Esquire be knowing this stuff and dropping some knowledge.
Yeah. 36 Chambers says, see how we get to Skyzoo and M stands can't let it go still. He's not an MC, even if he is lyrically nice. He hasn't even responded to the game yet. Shaking my head. You know what? We're almost a year past that record coming out and still no response.
Very problematic, and we're not almost a year. That was this past summer. It's wild.
We'll make it a year. He's not going to respond. And you know what? I sat here on this microphone and told you guys he wasn't responding. People were like, oh man, he's going to kill him. He's going to do this. I was like, he's not going to respond. Because he knows 300 bars is right around the corner. It's kind of fraudulent in my opinion, but hey, it's just my opinion.
Let's just put him through the list on Friday.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to get up out of here, right? It's 8:00. Yeah, Skyzoo dropped a stellar effort. I'm looking forward to Friday. We could put some more people through the list. Billboard dropped another bogus list, looks like. But hey, we'll wait for their, 30 30 to 21 list. Dr. Dre at 40. What the hell?
They know not what they do.
All right.
But they are sheep.
Peace to everybody in the chat, man, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bell icon, so you know when we going live, and tell a friend.
Hey, you
want to
know what, Mike? I had somebody actually tell me. They were like, "Hey, I love y'all show." They was like, "You got to tell people to like and subscribe."
Yeah, we don't do that enough.
They told me they're like, that is a science, Coop. Like that is a science.
Yeah, we don't do that enough. We just get caught up in our conversations and we just go.
Right.
And yeah, if somebody want to advertise with A2HH Live, shit, hit us at the info at accordingtohiphop.com. And we might run a commercial of yours throughout the show. We need to talk about those things more too. Shit. We need some sponsors.
The people that I'm trying to interview this year, Mike, and I've actually already got some people lined up, is to kind of like build out our network a little bit more so that the sponsors understand that although we're a hip hop podcast, you and I are intelligent enough and like versatile enough to kind of like delve into other forays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that so is our clientele and the people who follow this show. These are all working class people like you and I who work hard, educated, intelligent, love music, but can have a discourse about a number of other things. When people ain't just straight playing the dozens in the chat, there's actually some intelligent rhetoric going on. So we just want to start bringing some things full circle. So,
that happens too. It's all entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Like and subscribe. We got.